Blessed love, my Lord and Empress. This is the African Liberation Network, and I am the host, Honorable Prophet Daniel. And this is another international study group. Give thanks for all those here with us at this time. Give thanks for all those watching on YouTube now and in the future. Yes, at this time, being that there is no priest on the line, I will actually, Honorable, well, Brethren having an audio problem. My Lord, I think the brethren might be a priest, so just bear with me one moment, see if the brethren can open us with a prayer. Pardon. All right. While the technical issues work out, I will just open up with a short reverence, and then we'll go through Reverence Universal. Glory be to our Father, and to the Son, and to the Holy One of creation, as Jah was in the beginning, is now, and ever shall be, Jah well without end. Selassie I, Jah, Rastafari. Go before us, mighty God, go before us and do thy work thyself. Cut and clear, move and rent and tear our stumbling blocks, our barriers, our obstacles, our gins and our snares. Give us a clean hand and a pure heart, that we shall see God in ourselves and in each other. Give us a heart of love and a heart of understanding, one to another, that we may word in unity and loyalty and cooperation, with the goal and objective of a free and redeemed motherland, Ethiopia, Africa. Give thanks for the Black Christ, give thanks for his foundation, give thanks for his principles, to redeem I and I to righteousness of salvation. Give thanks for our mighty Black prophet, Honorable John Marcus Mosiah Garvey, who said, Africa for the Africans, those at home and us abroad, and reach for the stars of equality and justice. Give thanks for the King of Kings, the Lord of Lords, the conquering Lion of the tribe of Judah, elect of God and light of this world, his own divine majesty, Emperor Haile Selassie I, and Honorable Empress Menen, the mighty Black monarch, King Alpha and Queen Omega, ruling power of the whole earth and the universe. Yes, glorify and give thanks for all I and I, the congregation. Give thanks for everyone's presence, give thanks for the presence of God in us, with us, working through us.
Okay, let me press that all the time now, come on.
My Lord.
That was modest. Watch you.
So, yes, my Lord and Empress, Holy Emmanuel I, Selassie I, Jah, Rastafari. At this time, would ask Honorable Empress Maisie to unmute so she could sing a hymn for us to open the program, in righteousness. Empress Maisie.
Yes, my Lord.
Blessed love, Honorable.
Blessed love.
So, I want to sing Stand Up for Negus again, my Honorable.
Sure, my Lord.
All right. One moment while I pull up the lyrics. Okay. Continue with this, our opening hymn for this morning of International Study Group. Empress Maisie, you ready?
Yes, my Lord, always.
Stand up for Negus, you soldiers of Jah throne.
Stand up for me, a soldier of Jah throne.
Lift high Jah royal banner.
Lift high Jah royal banner.
It must not suffer loss.
not suffer long.
From victory unto victory,
From victory and to victory.
his army he shall lead.
Jammy shall lead
Till every foe is vanquished.
to every foe is vanquished.
And Christ is Lord indeed.
And Christ our Lord indeed.
Stand up for Negus.
Stand up for Negus.
Trumpet call, obey.
The trumpet calls obey.
Forth to the mighty conflict.
Of the mighty conflict.
In this his glorious day.
In this our glorious day.
Ye that are men now serve him.
Daniel, there's a chorus, you know.
Okay, pardon. All right, stand up for Negus, you soldiers of your throne.
Stand up for Negus, his soldiers of Jah throne.
Lift high Jah royal banner.
Lift high Jah royal banner.
It must not suffer loss.
It must not suffer loss.
Stand up for Negus.
Stand up for Negus.
Trumpet call, obey.
That trumpet call obey.
Forth to the mighty conflict.
Oh, to the mighty conflict.
In this Jah glorious day.
In this our glorious day.
Ye that are men now serve him.
Ye the men now serving
Against unnumbered foes.
against unnumbered foes.
Let courage rise with danger.
Let courage rise is danger.
And strength to strength oppose.
And strength to strength oppose.
Stand up for Negus.
Stand up for Negus.
You soldiers of the throne.
Soldiers of Jah throne.
Lift high his royal banner.
Lift high the royal banner.
It must not suffer loss.
It must not suffer loss.
For us.
I.
Stand up for Negus.
Stand up for Negus.
Ye soldiers of the throne.
The soldiers of Jah throne.
Lift high Jah royal banner.
Lift high Jah royal banner.
It must not suffer
It
loss.
must not suffer loss.
Stand up for Negus.
Stand up for Negus.
Stand in his strength alone.
Standing Jah's strength alone.
The arm of flesh will fail you.
The arm of flesh will fail.
You dare not trust your own.
You dare not trust your own.
Put on the gospel armor.
Put on the gospel armor.
And watching unto prayer.
And watching unto prayer.
Where duty calls or danger.
When duty calls or danger.
Be never wanting there.
Be were wanted there.
stand up for Negroes.
Stand up for
Ye
Negroes.
soldiers of the throne,
Just soldiers at the throne.
lift high his royal banner.
If I your royal banner,
It must not suffer loss.
it must not suffer loss.
Stand up for Negroes.
Stand up for me.
The strife will not be long.
The strife will not be long.
This day the noise of battle.
This day the noise of battle.
The next the victor's song.
The next the victor's strong.
To him that overcometh,
To him that overcomes.
a crown of life shall be.
A crown of life shall be.
He with the King of glory.
Be with the King of glory.
Shall reign eternally.
Shall reign eternally.
Stand up for Negus.
Stand up for me.
Ye soldiers of your throne.
Ye soldiers of your throne.
You lift high his royal
Lift
banner.
high your royal banner.
It must not suffer
It
loss.
must not suffer loss.
Chorus humming. Amen. Stand up for Negus.
Stand up for Negus.
We soldiers of your throne.
Soldiers of your throne.
Lift high your royal
Lift
banner.
high your royal banner.
It must not suffer loss.
It must not suffer loss.
Stand up for Negus.
Stand up for Negus.
Soldiers of the throne.
Ye soldiers of your throne.
Lift high your royal banner.
Lift high your royal banner.
It must not suffer loss.
It must not suffer loss.
From victory unto victory.
From victory unto victory.
His army shall he lead.
Army shall he lead.
Till every foe is vanquished.
Till every foe is vanquished.
And Christ is Lord.
And Christ our Lord indeed.
Stand up for Negus.
Stand up for Negus.
Ye soldiers of
Ye
the throne.
soldiers of your throne.
Lift high your royal banner.
Lift high your royal banner.
It must not suffer
It
loss.
must not suffer loss.
Stand up for Negus.
Stand up for me.
The strife will not be long.
The strife will not be long.
This day the noise of battle.
This day the noise of battle.
The next the victor's song.
The victor's song.
To him that overcometh,
To him that overcome,
A crown of life shall
a crown of life shall
be with the King of glory.
Ye with our King of glory.
Shall reign eternally.
Shall reign eternally.
Stand up for niggas coming down.
Stand up for niggas.
You soldiers
Soldiers of Jah throne.
lift high Jah royal banner.
Lift high Jah royal banner.
It must not suffer loss
It
coming back.
must not suffer loss in a holy Mount Zion, 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 Lord, holy Mount Zion, Zion, Jehovah, Jah, Rastafari, my Lord and Empress, blessed love.
Give thanks, Empress.
Blessed love.
Yes, royal family, here we are, another international study group. Give thanks and praise for everyone's presence, at this time. I would like to, first remind us the topic today is to continue the reasoning about the Constitution, which we didn't finish 2 strongs ago. And I would like to, open up the floor to our elder, Honorable Jah Headley, Priest Headley, my Lord. If there's anything that you wanted to say about the Constitution, to start the conversation, then I would love to hear it. We would love to hear it. But otherwise, once you speak, we will go through with read and continue to read and go through each point on the Constitution and just reason as we go along.
Oh, blessed uprising royal family.
My Lord, glorify.
Give thanks again to the blessed family, Pardon
Blessed
me for
my
being,
Lord.
Pardon me for being a bit late, wrestling with this telephone to come on,
Yeah.
But give thanks, I finally overcome,
Truly.
Yes, my Lord, when I was young, a little youth, and the old people would see that you don't take sick easily, They would say, young man or boy, your constitution strong.
Mm.
So therefore, all of us have a constitution like a DNA, So I give thanks that, our Father is ruling by a strong constitution, most high.
Yeah. Rastafari.
We give thanks, as we can see that the constitution, even in the earthly ruling, they are all governed by constitution, and the constitution stands supreme.
Yes.
Yes. That means it stands as our Father, His words is desire, like the prophecy, His words is desire, So we must all work by the constitution to fulfill His desire, and fulfill Him, with the 32 people that He has given the constitutional, rulership through to govern the Congress. And He has given those 32 people, if there's any presidential powers is given unto those 32 people. The decision that they make, will stand as our Father, as long as it is stand for righteousness, equality for all, So we give thanks for the Constitution, and we must all try, to obey, and be governed by the Constitution, because violation of the Constitution is very dangerous, beloved, And right now I can see that most ones want to go to the court. We have some cases going in through the court right now. That is the Constitution judging these brethren. And if you don't mind sharp, you're going to hear people go to prison. You see?
Mhm.
So the Constitution is very, very serious, beloved. You know, it's the Father's words and desire for us to govern ourselves as a people uprightly, equally, because this is the headquarters for fundamental human rights. Therefore, we have to live it, practice it, live it. Most High, Selassie.
Yeah, Rastafari.
So I give thanks. I wasn't there first week to hear, but give thanks, for what is, said and done, and give thanks now that I can go through, that we all can hear, how the Congress is to be governed and the way it is to be governed, and the places for the royal ministers, because we're supposed to have 32 portfolio, to govern, to meet even the other heads of government, government to government, most high. Last,
Yeah, Rastafari.
Rastafari.
give thanks again, beloved, and I will, give another, freeness, my Lord, beloved. Give thanks.
Glorify. Yes, Honorable. So, in the first session, which, is there on YouTube for ones and ones to watch if they are just tuning in and they didn't get to hear the first reasoning on the Constitution. The major issue, I think that was a hang up that kind of caused not necessarily contention, but a little bit of conversation back and forth, was the issue of the president. Because, I'll scroll up it's on the screen. If anyone, with us is wanting to follow along, you can see the Constitution is on the screen. Now, when it comes to the president, this Constitution says, when it comes to membership, the first principle of membership, letter A, that they recognize one president and head of the association, the Most Right Honorable King Emmanuel Charles Edwards, who is Melchizedek, the high priest of Salem, as defined in Hebrews chapter 7. All right. So this president, now, as we know, King Emmanuel made a move from his flesh temple, and so now the seat of the president appears to be open. You know what I mean? That's what the interpretation is that we need another president in order to function as a government because, like for instance, here, trustees, powers, duties, etc. The trustee or trustees shall be appointed by the president, the head of the association, the Most Right Honorable King Emmanuel Charles Edwards, after a meeting of Parliament. So now that King Emmanuel is no longer on the hill in that form to be ministering in that way, to say like choose trustees and stuff like that and disappoint and appoint people. What it was suggested was that Priest Jesus be the, sit in that seat as the president to fulfill certain duties, etc., that the president would have to do, right? Some people agree with that, some people don't agree with that. Now, that's something that we as a Congress would have to really iron out and come to an agreement, because this is the people's government, and that we should make decisions together since King Emmanuel is no longer here in say, the physical flesh form to give, say, a word, and we just have to obey it and accept it. So now it's up to us, as the I said, the parliament is the ruling body, but the 32-member parliament doesn't exist at this time. It's not to say that the members are, some of them I think have transitioned from flesh as well, so they wouldn't be there to fulfill their duty, which means that new parliament members would need to be chosen. And then we have to figure out a process of how those members would be chosen that we all agree on, and that is right and that is fair and just, and that we didn't really come to a conclusion on that. It was just kind of like one suggestion was brought up. Some people didn't agree with it, but we never came to another idea that is strong that would help us to continue to function as a government, poor people's government. Yeah, so I think that's the main thing really when it comes to this Constitution, is that the presidency has a lot of responsibility, but without a president, how do we function? How do those responsibilities still get taken care of, you know? If, say, Justice is not going to be the president, some would say that he should be the president. Some would say he shouldn't. I'm not here to declare one way or the other. I'm here more so for us to reason. The African Liberation Network platform is here for us to reason and come to an agreement that makes sense, that is, fair, right, just, so that we can go forward, So I would like to hear from some of I and I that's on the reasoning now about this presidency situation. I would like to hear what ones and ones think and why. So in an orderly fashion, we're not going to speak over ones and ones. We're gonna, if you don't know how to raise your hand in Zoom, then you can just simply, even just unmute and say, "My Lord, I would like to speak," and I will take your name down and put it in order of how they come, how the hands are raised, and everyone will get a chance to speak. If you disagree with something somebody's saying, make a note of it. And whenever they finish and you get your turn to speak, then you can address whatever it is. But we as a people cannot make it a practice of speaking over someone when we agree or disagree with what they're saying, especially on Zoom, because those watching on YouTube wouldn't be able to hear either of the two people. You know what I mean? So let's just do it so that it's clear, for the sake of understanding, for the sake of peace, for the sake of love, and for the sake of unity and cooperation and loyalty to our Congress. All right, so yeah, this time I would just open up the floor before we go into the reading. To continue the reading, I would like to just hear what ones and ones think about the presidency situation, because it's like one of the most, if not the most important topics regarding this whole constitution, and a lot of the other things that have to happen to rectify the government are dependent upon the presidency, or at least an understanding of how to move forward without a president if we are not going to have one. So, like I said, I'm not choosing one side or the other. African Liberation Network is neutral. We're just a platform for reasoning for the Congress to sort itself out at this time. So yes, anyone have anything they wanted to say? Feel free to, you can unmute the first person who wants to speak, unmute. Everyone else, just raise your hand.
Oh, blessed love, royal majesty.
My Lord.
Oh, give thanks, beloved. As I was not here first week on the topic, and now I am here and I'm hearing, this controversy, that is not necessary. Beloved, if we follow the Constitution, then we wouldn't have a controversy.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because there was no place for a second president. We don't need a figurehead, my Lord.
Mm-hmm.
We don't need a figurehead. What the Father did, he gave 32 people presidential powers to act in his stead. My beloved little brother, Priest Jesse, is a part of the parliament. Therefore, any decision that is being made, he will be right there to see that the right just go through. Equality for all.
Mm-hmm.
Because if we have a parliament, and yes, we have a figurehead, then any decision the parliament make, they will also have to take it to the figurehead. And this is what the Father did not set out to happen. Because he is the way, the truth, and the life. He has no second when it comes to his people's business. His people's business. Equality for all, my brother. Give thanks.
Yes, my Lord, glorified. Yes, Honorable Empress Petrona, you can unmute yourself, Empress, and speak. Empress Pet. All right, well, maybe she's having a technical issue. And at whichever time that she can speak, Empress Pet, whenever you're ready, whenever your microphone begins to work, you can get my attention and I'll call on you since you were the next in line. Next will be Honorable Empress Lily May. Empress, you can unmute yourself and speak.
Blessed Lord, honorable
Bless it.
host. Thanks for each and every one on the Zoom and on YouTube. Thanks to the Black Christ and Fresh. Thanks to the EABIC, COS, and EAB, COS, CCOS, WFLL. If thanks for the Constitution. Thanks for the elder who just spoke, which is right. And for me, have a parliament, functional parliament, not a figurehead parliament, you know, how our father said it. I totally agree, my Lord. So let's get our father business in order. You know, not on the Zoom, but you know, 10 miles Bull Bay March first. You know, who can make it, you know?
Mhm.
So I give thanks and glorify for the evening. For Emmanuel last year, Rastafari,
Rastafari.
blessed.
Blessed Empress. So then, if there is, say, no figurehead, no president, quote unquote, besides King Emmanuel, and the parliament now is to choose the rest of the parliament members, then it's up to, say, the existing parliament members who actually want to work together, to come together, as the Empress said, in the foundation and elect a committee in parliament. Is that what I understand to be true, Empress, Priest Sadly? Is that what the eyes suggesting?
Most natural, my beloved brother. We take the earthly things to match the heavenly things. And I don't see any parliament member down here living anywhere else but in this country.
Mm-hmm.
And if they have a dual citizenship, they have to give up one. You know? So not taking away from anyone that was what was given to them. But the fact still remains that we need 32 people here to function as a parliament, to have these members to meet the other government to government affair. We can talk to our beloved on Skype and Zoom and all kind of things. But we need the people here to function. And not only the 32, because we're going to need committees, my lord.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to need committees to function, because this is how the Congress function. First, the 14-man committee, whether they come out of the 32 or we're going to, you know, have a different vote to make up the numbers, to have people to function the government. 20, 25 or 22 people cannot do the work. You see it? And out of that, 12 of them already did have a different leader. It's not King Emmanuel. Holy Emmanuel, I. Yeah.
Huh?
Rastafari. Without people, the government cannot function, my beloved brothers, my beloved sisters. And we need people with clean hands, pure heart, equality. Give thanks.
Yes, I. Empress Petrona, is your microphone working now? Okay, not hearing you. Not hearing you, Empress. Yeah, all right. Well, Empress Pet, whenever it starts working, Honorable, you can just speak and I will let you go through, since, you know, you're having an issue there. All right, so with that being said, if no one else has anything, you know, around that topic, I'll just continue to read. All right, replacement. The trustee can be replaced by the president after review. A hearing in which the trustee will be given an opportunity to be heard if the trustee desires by the parliament and president. So with appointments of parliament members and trustees and things like that. As the priest said, the existing parliament members would be in charge of doing what the president would have done. My Lord Priest Headley, I have a question for the eye, and any elder really still. When the Constitution was written, was it written with the thought that King Emmanuel would never leave his flesh? Is that why it was written this way?
My beloved brother, it could be, and the Father in his wiseness know that we are such a people and we are so complicated, you know, that if we put up any sacrificial lamb there again, he will be crucified.
Mm-hmm. All right, give thanks, my Lord. So then, now the next question / statement that I would make is, if now we realize that, you know, we would say King Emmanuel is the president, yes, but if the president is not going to be choosing the trustees, does the Constitution need to be reworded to be more clear and more relevant to today? And I'll leave
if the what, I don't think that clear again, beloved.
I'm saying that, yes, my Lord, I was just saying that since it was written a way where, say, like the president is reviewing and choosing people and disappointing people, should the Constitution be reworded to be like more relevant to today? Because if the president can't do these things and it's the duty of the parliament, then it would be a confusion, you know, to say that the president, in the Constitution, to say that the president is supposed to review and the president is supposed to choose the trustees and things like that. Should it be reworded to say that the trustee can be replaced by the parliament?
There's no need for that, beloved.
Okay.
It's just words.
Right, but this is what we go by.
What is needed, beloved, is the action. What really is needed is the action, because there's a lot of words and a lot of talking from 94 until now. Mm-hmm. What we need, beloved, is the people who know what to do come and help to do what is to be done constitutionally. Mm-hmm. Then authority can come into place and things can change.
All right. All I'm saying is that it just, when the Constitution says it this way, but it's actually the parliament that's going to be doing these things, eventually it could cause some confusion, you know? That's all I'm saying.
It wouldn't be, my Lord, in any case, my Lord, it wouldn't be there wouldn't be any confusion, because if a decision to be made, my Lord, then majority carries.
Well, if you have 32 individuals, my Lord, and 16 vote one way and 16 vote the other way, there's no majority.
Beloved, we don't want to turn it into a politics, you know?
Yeah, my Lord. Well, I mean, I'm just thinking of all the scenarios.
We don't want to turn it into a politics, my brethren. My Lord, when we're judging righteously, my brethren, we're not supposed to have, you see what I'm saying, my brethren? Mm-hmm. We're not supposed to have no decision, no split decision, and no ideas. Righteousness, man, is whether good or evil, you know, beloved.
Yes, sir. Well, I think all of these things eventually have to be more fine-tuned and detailed, because situations will arise.
I know, all right, beloved, what I notice is, instead of action, we think about all these things. If people did come together from them time, my brethren, you know how far we would reach? Huh?
No, I don't.
You know how far we would reach, beloved? And we could do what we say we do. Our Father would appear. What them think him dead and gone and not going to come again?
My Lord.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Just, you know, studying to be clear. So all that, read it, understand what it is that we're dealing with still, you know. But I'll continue. The common seal, use, and custody. The common seal shall be in the custody of the president again. All documents pertaining to and emanating from the association shall be stamped with the seal. The president shall name a committee the members of which are authorized to use the stamp on condition that all documents or copies stamped will be filed by the president. It's a lot of work for the president still, you know, and I mean, I'm not gonna press, you know, for the reasoning on it, but it still is, I'm being honest, it's confusing to me. I mean, you could say it should be one way or it should be the other, but to read it that way and to see that it's gonna function differently is a little bit confusing. The meetings of the association. The association shall hold a general meeting every Wednesday. A committee or cabinet meeting of the association shall be held every Sunday. All right. The governing body, their appointment and removal and powers. The governing body of the association is the parliament, consisting of the president and 32 members. Each member of the parliament is appointed by the president. Upon his appointment, a meeting of the parliament is called, and the member is informed of his or her duties and principles of the association. The member pledges loyalty to those principles and to his or her duties and to the president. If there is evidence of dereliction of duty and disloyalty to principles or to the president and or association, there shall be a meeting of parliament termed a reasoning, in which the member shall be given an opportunity to be heard. The matter shall be reviewed, and only then can the member be removed. The duty of a member shall be to carry out the daily administration of the association, to participate in the decision-making process, and to carry out tasks assigned to her or him on order of the president of the association. Any questions, any thoughts before I continue? All right. Subscriptions, contributions, disbursement of funds, keeping of accounts. Subscriptions and other contributions are collected at the headquarters of the association at 10 miles Bull Bay, St. Andrew, Jamaica, West Indies, formerly headquartered at 54B Spanish Town Road in the parish of St. Andrew. All funds shall be paid to a special committee of the association appointed by the president. This committee shall be responsible for the disbursement of the funds of the association and the keeping and auditing of the accounts of the association. Any questions, any comments? If not, I'll continue. Jampo.
One moment, beloved.
Okay.
One moment. This funds is it's supposed to be a committee. Beloved,
Yes, my lord.
and a committee of 7 brethren.
To handle the money.
Rest, beloved.
Honorable.
Because right now we have a problem because the money is passing through one hand. See it?
Mm-hmm.
And therefore that one hand become a target.
Same.
Okay. So this is why I tell you, my Lord, we need people to function. You see?
Yes, I.
My Lord, the work at this time, you know, is one's giving up themselves as a living sacrifice. And if we know what is being done to sacrifice, my Lord,
Mm-hmm.
you put your life on the line. Sacrifice is put on the altar and kill.
Mm-hmm.
So, any one person, my Lord, this is why the Father do everything in sevens, my Lord. Purification, powers, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Any one person, my Lord, become target. So when I want come to you, I want the money, and is the 7 people have made the decision to say, yes, give him this, or don't, my Lord, we don't have it, or so, and then it must go, yes, what I'm saying, my brethren?
Yes, I.
Yeah, just drawing a reference, beloved.
Give thanks, my Lord. It's also good for checks and balances, you know, To give one person so much authority with the Congress money wouldn't be a wise choice. John Poe, my Lord, you can unmute and reason.
Oh, give thanks, my Lord. Give thanks for life, health, and strength. Thanks for the first day of labor. Give thanks for the item on the Zoom meeting and the parliamentarians who are there and the members of this Congress. Most High Selassie, Jah, Rastafari, my Lord and Empress, Prince and Princess Nyamfa, on and on. Give thanks, my Lord, for the opportunity to share a word. My Lord, I needed to ask based on this membership, we here in South Africa, we have a certain something that is also aligned with the Constitution itself, there are members who are crowned in this land, right? Now, the question is, should those who are not crowned, who are seeking crowns, be given crowns by other members who are not a part of the state? Because we have a government here in South Africa, which is run by the priests who were sent here by the Congress. So they have sought asylum in this land, still fighting for their land right to be called to have nationality in a sense. So in questioning what can they, when other members, they don't want to work with them, in the forward program of the Ethiopia Africa Black International Congress, if I may ask.
Can you just say just the question part, my Lord? Because I didn't really catch the question fully.
My question, my Lord, is the members who are a part of the committee, or let me say the members of the Congress who are here in South Africa. How should they address people who are seeking to, like, how can I put this, my Lord? They are looking for another way, of cooperation, but not cooperating with the members who were sent by the Congress. What can be done about that kind of situation? I hope it's clear, man.
Yes, my Lord. Well, I will allow for one of the elders to really speak on that. I can't,
If I may, beloved, give thanks, my beloved brothers and sisters. What I am getting from the beloved brother is that there is a division down there.
True, my Lord.
Okay. So the brethren that were sent from the Congress, why does the other brothers don't want to work with that brother?
To be honest, my Lord, it's because of past situations of which happened. For instance, the issue with our honorable priest Medop, when he was staying at a specific camp in the land of Sabani, there were certain disagreements and, altercations which happened, which caused a lot of turmoil, there was a lot of turmoil, that kind of association. So right now, things are not clear, my Lord, for our members, So that's why I find it, I just needed that kind of clarity, because as I said, there is a division in South Africa, as much as there's a division straight in the hill,
And that is not right, beloved.
True, man. In essence, we don't want any war between brothers, because from my opinion, my Lord, they are doing their works, and our brothers there in Sakan, as much as our brothers who are crowned prophets, who are crowned priests, they are doing works. Because right now, my Lord, people who were sent by the Congress, the official priests, there is sacrifice with their life. As the eye has said, they are living sacrifice, on the altar of Melchizedek. Now, there's a lot of laws which are prohibiting them from executing certain things because they haven't got the nationality, you know, and which is something which the headquarters, you know, I believe with all my heart and meditation, you know, that the power is there for them to be able to do certain missions, you know. So hey, it's a point of clarity that we need, my Lord, not only for South Africa, but I believe it's for the universe itself, you know.
Yes, beloved.
Yeah.
Yes, beloved. Yes, beloved. And we need the genuine people to do the work,
Constitution.
beloved. Genuine
True,
brothers.
my Lord, because now
Hold on, Bobo.
I
Hold on,
pardon.
Prophet, the brethren was
Blessed.
go through precept.
No, I was just saying we need genuine brothers, genuine sisters who open their hearts to each other to know that it's one struggle, my beloved brother. You know?
Yes, my Lord. And I would ask, you know, from this point on, if no one's name is brought up in these reasonings, you can even just say the brethren who came here are not this and that. You don't have to bring up anyone's name. It's not going to help. It's not going to bring any justice. This program is not about bringing justice. This is about reasoning to a right. So please,
beloved,
everyone refrain from calling other members names who are not on this reasoning.
That's true, beloved, because the blame game don't work in this time, you know, beloved. It's just to heal and to move along within equality, beloved, and do the works of our Father, you know.
Yes, my Lord. So, you know, Prophet Mpo, did your question get answered?
Yes, my Lord. In a sense, I got a peace, my Lord, but I was still humble for the moment still.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, there's only one way, you know, and if the obstacle is to make it happen so that ones and ones could get anointed properly, then the Congress itself would have to embark on that mission to send priests to the region to anoint people and crown people and give offices and things like that with proper communication with the headquarters. I think that should pretty much clear up any question regarding that. This is one way, you know?
Yes,
yeah.
Love to say something, my Lord.
Glorify, go through Empress.
Yes, my Lord. Give thanks again for another reasoning upon our Father Constitution. You know, the Constitution is our Father. The words written on the is our Father words, you know, and we as a people must abide by the Constitution that our Father left to govern his government, right? Even though our Father, King Emmanuel, is not here in his self of self, but he's still here, right? And whatever word written on the Constitution is better, right? The Father knew that he would make a move, right? He might have seen that, you know, there'll be no one could army and all the people, right? Kind of like the Father never searched to find someone who could, you know, but he come like the man never find within the years. And the Father left, make sure that he left a constitution. He did left a will. And he didn't state anyone personally on his constitution, right? The constitution is him, King Emmanuel, for life, president for life, okay? But he left, he's 32, he's 31, plus the Empress League and himself there, right? To govern, to come together and govern his government as a people, right? It's because of disobedience why we are so apart and we cannot come together as in one fold, right? The elders, and when our Father left, if the elders then, or even the sons would follow take up the Father work and follow. Everything was set already by King Emmanuel. Was nothing hard there for us to do, only to continue the work of our Father by agitating for our freedom, redemption, and international repatriation. But no, the brethren, them take unto themselves different tasks that the Father did not left, and find themselves in all different situations right now. You understand? That is not the work of the Father. Or the work of the Father was to get home back his children back to Ethiopia, back to Africa, where I and I, sons and daughter, was taken from. You understand? There was a priest, there was a priest sent down there in South Africa. And I heard that the priest was gathering lots of brethren and things. What happened? What happened to the priest that was sent down there? And why the priest did not anoint other priests, that the work could go on in South Africa. And if he did that, you would have a division right now, for man to stay in America and anoint people down there in South Africa. That is not it. That is not the way how it should done. You understand? So my Lord, is a lot of things we need to fix. You see, and we need to follow the Constitution that our Father left. We wouldn't have a problem. We wouldn't have a problem right now if we was following the Constitution as children of the Most High God. Selassie Jah. Rastafari. Blessed Lord.
Rastafari.
Honorable, give thanks. The next hand up, Honorable Empress Lily May, and then John Poe will be next. Empress Lily.
Blessed love, Honorable.
Blessed love, Majesty.
Brothers and sisters, we thank to this glorious study group. And King Emmanuel Charles Edwards made his mysterious trod. First of all, majority of the elders on the committee scattered, went to various parts. Some of them never even stayed 6 months. I'm a part of that one that scattered, but I stayed 1 year because a ticket came for me like 3 weeks after His Majesty made a move. And I let him say, no, I can't go because I have a sister who just come for 6 months from Texas. I have a sister I'm expecting in November who coming for 6 months. So y'all bring this ticket in next year for me and I'll make a move because I have to see how this Congress can function. And first of all, if the committee, was scattered, the parliament was gone, the elders tried their best. I was there. I saw the elder. You say don't call nobody names, but trust me, I was there for 1 year and I saw, and I saw that our Congress need help, spiritual and temporal.
Mm-hmm.
So I just say, yes, I go out there because, and I'm going to come back every 6 months and bring my widow's mite to see that this Congress, press along. And I did that, And like I say, the parliament, man, you see, like President say, if the parliament, they go out of grass, 4 wings, and come back with that loyalty, man, to the headquarters, we wouldn't be in the position we're in now. The parliament would have been functioning. You can't be out of grass and run parliament. Parliament's supposed to be in the headquarters with the committee, with the Freedom and Liberation League, running the EABIC-COS and EABC-COS, Women Freedom Liberation League. And if it ain't gonna be like that, we can be going round and round and round in circles until Jah ready to cut and clear and do what he have to do. Because if we keep on doing like this, Jah gonna make his move, and ain't nobody can stop him, from the head right down to the toe. No one can stop King Emmanuel Charles Edwards. And this foundation, EABIC, 10 Miles Bull Bay, It's his headquarters, you know. That's the Jerusalem school room, you know. So if you don't get it right, you can make it right, you know. I'm just praying, man, that we get it right because trust me, this is, you know what y'all left us? A whole government. You know, I heard anyway, I have 5 minutes for the new rules. I heard a voice note from he said what he said about the Jamaican government and thing. We have to go to Jamaican government. Continue King Emmanuel Charles Edwards works. We can't go straight to United Nations. We have to get the Jamaican government, you know, to submit to King Emmanuel Charles Edwards' demands. So that is my words for this moment. Holy Emmanuel I Selassie I Jah.
Rastafari.
Yes, Empress, give thanks for the word sound. Honorable Prophet Mpo, my Lord, can speak.
I give thanks, my Lord. I just wanted to give a clearance for the Honorable Empress Maisie, you know. Honorable Empress, I just wanted to state that the crowning of the angels, you know, is not that there were not any of our brothers here in South Africa that were not crowned. We have members who were crowned here, you know. So I just wanted to give you that clarity, my beloved. That's it.
All right, Honorable.
Smile. Oh, give thanks to the understanding, my Lord. Glorify.
All right. So if nothing else on that particular topic, nobody have nothing else to say, I'll continue to read. The priests and representatives of the association. The priests and representatives, the latter meaning those who represent the association outside the precincts of the church. So anyone who is a Bobo Shanti that doesn't live inside the foundation is a representative. Is that what that means? Just to be clear, my Lord and Empress, somebody could give me a confirmation. Is that what that actually means?
Read that again, beloved.
Yes, my Lord. It says the priests and representatives, the latter meaning those who represent the association outside of the precincts of the church.
The latter would mean?
The latter, the word representatives, means those who represent the association outside the precincts of the church. Is that what that means?
You mean like you would say a beloved brother who live outside?
That's what I'm asking. I'm asking if that's what that really.
As long as, yes, beloved, because not everyone going to live in the exact fencing of the foundation at this time.
Okay.
You see it?
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't really live inside the exact foundation. I am right at the foot of the hill.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yes, my Lord, give thanks.
Yet I am right in, is my home, my Lord.
Give thanks, my Lord. Just, I want to be clear so that we understand these terms properly.
Yes, beloved, because remember the Father of his angels worldwide, my Lord, is not just the understand, brethren.
Mm-hmm.
This place is to accommodate 144, at least 144,000 saints,
Mm-hmm.
Priests who is to, who is going to return to replenish, the holy city, You see? This is why we have to return to the divine order of Melchizedek Royal Majesty. Holy Emmanuel I.
Brady, can I say something, man?
Yes, Empress, go through.
Okay, give thanks. And to straighten back what the elder have said, even when Dada was here and I'm self-observed, there was brothers and sisters outside of the foundation, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was doing work, pertaining to the foundation. So all did not live inside of the foundation, but the thing is, they used to come and go, They would come and visit and talk with the Father and, and they would leave. So brethren used to come and go, right? Even though they wasn't on the foundation living, but they used to come and go. And so the Father would know exactly what their work out there is doing, what they're out there is doing. That's why he made the ambassadors, you know, for different countries. So they can come in and make a report. And even though it's not always ambassadors, but brethren and sisters used to come and pay their loyalty to the Father and the foundation, my Lord. So all could not live inside the foundation. All right?
Yes, sir. So a priest is still a priest outside of the gates, but when you are outside of the precincts of the church, you are a representative, meaning you're representing the Congress. Yeah.
True. You're representing.
All right, give thanks.
Yes, beloved, that's why your liberty is the most important thing, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, beloved.
My Lord.
Liberty.
All right. So give thanks for that clearance now to move forward. The priests and representatives are appointed by the president and founder, the Most Right Honorable King Emmanuel Charles Edwards, Holy Melchizedek. The priests and representatives shall be documented and certified by the president and must take with them at all times their identification card, which will bear the stamp of the association's seal. I'm noticing that this document, this constitution, doesn't really mention the word prophets. Can anybody give a clearance as to why? I haven't seen the word prophet yet. It's only priests. Anyone? All right. If not, I'll just continue. I'll look elsewhere to get that word. Documents and communication. All documents and communication touching upon the affairs of the association shall be filed in and emanate from the office of the president. So that means nobody who is not in the office of the president should be sending out documents and communication touching upon the affairs of the association unless it emanates from the office of the president. And also earlier, as we read, the seal also is from the president's office. So anyone
Yes,
who, my Lord.
yes, beloved. You see, because whenever documents going out, the documents would have to pass through the Father, right? Before and proofread and so before it go out.
Mm-hmm.
You see, so now it would be in the hands of the parliament or the brothers and sisters who is in such authority now, which is at least 7 people, to see that the documents are written properly and proofread and go out properly on time and where they are. You see?
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir. So, yeah, that's pretty cut and dry, you know. No letter should be going out unless it's coming from the foundation, from the office of the president.
Most naturally, and proofread and seal and stamp, my Lord, you know.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Have a hand raised, Honorable Jock Clockey, Empress Rachel. Your hand is up. You can unmute yourself and speak, my Lord, Empress.
Blessed love to the royal family, my Lord and Empress.
Honorable.
Oh, royal family.
Yes. Honorable Daniel, within the fullness of the word we're saying, see no prophets now. They're not mentioned in the above reading there, right?
Mm-hmm.
The representative come like a prophet too, you know. Because the priest and the representative, you know, so it's not only priests just go out, it's prophets just move with the priest too. Just like how you go and stand by priests and these different things. So when you use representative, they come make a cover that field where prophets is there too. And then you remember it are empresses too, what are the standard to moving and all these different things. So the priest now come like the head there and the prophets is the representative of the association.
Okay. Give thanks, my Lord. Yeah, that makes sense to me.
Yes, sir.
Give thanks, Honorable. All right. So continuing. Policy and philosophy. The associations shall not participate on or with any organization or in any activity demeaning to or non-beneficial to the upliftment of Black people of Africa and the Black nation universally. The association shall not participate on or with any organization or in any activity demeaning to or non-beneficial to the upliftment of Black people of Africa and the Black nation universally. That's pretty simple. Anyone have any questions, comments on that particular point there?
Yes, beloved, because what our beloved brothers did was very serious where the Constitution is concerned, because for international governance to be registered forward as a company limited, is a very serious charge. And up to now, I don't see these things are being looked about. I don't know if it is being looked about, outside, but for here now, I don't see this thing is being looked about to clear the name of the Congress, because it's really the name of the Congress registered as a company,
Well, isn't that what the court case and all of that stuff is all about, my lord?
No, beloved.
Okay. Well, I don't have any information to speak on.
It may come up for mention, or this court case may bring it up because it is getting very warm, Yes. Give thanks.
Yes, John. All right. Well, I don't have no, definite answer for that. So I'll leave it there. Continuing. Aims and objects. I imagine that's supposed to be objectives, but we'll go with objects because that's how it's written. Aims and objects of the Incorporated Trustee of the Ethiopia Africa Black International Congress Church of Salvation, hereinafter called the Association. Number 1, to redeem the motherland of Ethiopia. The term Ethiopia is used broadly to mean and embrace the entire continent of Africa and Black people in the diaspora and everywhere universally to righteousness. All right. Number 1, to redeem motherland Ethiopia and Black people in the diaspora and everywhere universally to righteousness. The number 1, that's important. The number 1 aim and object is to get us Black people to live in righteousness everywhere. Number 2, to achieve freedom, redemption, and repatriation to Mother Africa of all Black people termed Africa's slave children, now scattered in the several countries of the Western world as a consequence of slavery and the cruel and inhuman slave trade, who desire to return home and to work for the development of Mother Africa. Number 2, freedom, redemption, repatriation of African slave children in the West and around the world who were scattered because of the slave trade, that wish to return home to work for the development of our motherland. Number 3, to emphasize and foster sound principles of spiritual, moral, mental, and physical welfare in the implementation of the aims and objects of the association. To emphasize and foster sound principles of spiritual, moral, mental, and physical welfare in the implementation of the aims and objects of the association. So what that basically means is that we have to make sure that when we go about seeking to fulfill the aims and objectives of this association, we have to do it within principles of spiritual, moral, and mental and physical welfare. So might is right, right is might. You can't just do it in any old kind of way and say that we represent in this
righteousness.
Yes, sorry. Number 4, to raise money solely for the realization of the aforesaid aims and objects and to satisfy obligations or liabilities, and not for any personal gain of any member of the church or his or her, not for any personal gain of any member of the church of his or her aggrandizement. To raise money only for the realization of the aforesaid aims and objects, to satisfy obligations or liabilities, and not for personal gain of any member for his or her aggrandizement. So no one should be getting rich off of the Congress, money that's coming into the Congress. The money coming into the Congress is only for freedom, redemption, and repatriation.
Yes, my Lord.
My Lord. Number 5, to help the destitute by providing food for the poor and monetary contributions where possible as a living witness to the fostering of sound principles of spiritual and moral welfare in the implementation of the aims and objects of the association. I repeat, to help the destitute, meaning the poor and needy, poor and have-nots, by providing food for the poor and monetary contributions where possible as a living witness to the fostering of sound principles of spiritual and moral welfare in the implementation of the aims and of objects of the association. That's, saying that we should be helping poor people. Yes?
Most natural, my Lord, because this is the poor and the have-not governance, my Lord.
My Lord.
And those who have no other helper,
Mm-hmm.
Something is provided, a raiment, shelter, my Lord, if it's even these strings, even these 3 things, my Lord, food, raiment, shelter, no matter how small it is, my Lord.
Yes, sir. I think we have to have ourselves in order to really even do anything for anyone else.
Yes, beloved, this is where the unification of our people is most urgent, my Lord.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I. I'll continue. Number 6, to initiate, take, or defend any legal proceeding which may be deemed necessary for the association. To initiate, meaning to start, take, or defend any legal proceeding which may be deemed necessary for the association. This is principles of membership of the Congress.
Yes, my Lord, that one is very needed right now, my Lord, very, very needed, my Lord, to what is happening in the name of the Congress, my Lord.
Mm-hmm. True, my Lord. So when we read that, my Lord, and Empress, it's the open reason, and I have a question still. To take and defend, initiate, take, or defend any legal proceeding that's necessary for the association. Does that mean any individual who is a member of the Congress has authority to do so? Or does that mean the Parliament should do so? Or whoever is appointed to do so? Who would take that initiative? And how? The right way?
Well, it depends on how the case would be going, because that person would have to be communicating with the Congress or the Parliament or some who is responsible. Minister of Justice or the minister who deal with that portfolio, something like that.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right, then I'll leave it there. Unless anyone else had anything they wanted to add or say. Okay. Number 7, to pay the expenses of and incidental to the formation and incorporation of the association. To pay the expenses of and incidental to the formation and incorporation of the association. So when we say to pay the expenses of and incidental to the formation of the association, what does that mean? The association is already formed. So is that to say, like, if we were to establish a branch somewhere else that and incorporate it in another country or something like that, a new, yeah, I don't really understand what that really means. The association is already formed, and to my knowledge, it's already incorporated.
What we're saying about the other branches, that the Congress would, if another branch is to be formed, the Congress would be responsible for the the money to see that this is formed, or?
Okay, that's what I'm asking. I'm not sure. I don't really.
Oh,
understand.
I'm not really certain, because I don't know if this is the way any other branches, because really the father didn't intend to have a lot of branches, you know.
Okay.
He said they could have offices, and he made ambassadors, you know, and they would have their offices to gather people to come to the foundation, because really this is the redemption ground. You see?
Mm-hmm.
This is the repentance ground. So, you know, but it has changed over the years, and a lot of branches, and you know, it caused, it even caused the headquarters, the mother now, to be suffering, because while, you know, that's for another reason, beloved. Blessed are.
True, my Lord. Yes, yeah, if anyone, feel free, participants in the reasoning, if you understand anything and we're looking for clearance, this is to study, to show ourselves approved. So, if you have a knowledge of anything that's questioned, please feel free to share. Because we want to be clear. After the end of studying, we should know something that we didn't know beforehand, Yes, sir. So continuing, number 8. To apply for and take all necessary steps to obtain any statutory or other powers or privileges required of deeded to be expedient for the furtherance of the aims and objects of the association and to defray the costs involved. Not clear on that really. To apply for and take all necessary steps to obtain any statutory as statutes, like legal codes that countries have. It's not laws, it's just statutes, or other powers or privileges required. I think that must mean to be or deeded. If it says of deeded, I don't really understand that still, but
Would you say?
My Lord?
I would just say all means necessary where it is concerned towards the furtherance of our fundamental freeness, redemption, international repatriation.
Okay.
No. Yeah, it is all means necessary, my Lord.
Okay, give thanks, my Lord. Simple terms, any means necessary to continue the aims and objectives of the association and the costs associated with such work. All right, so there's, there endeth the reading of the Constitution of the EABIC COS. If there's any points that anyone wanted to return to give more attention, then we can do that at this time. Any questions, any concerns regarding the Constitution, the government, how to move forward, anything, there's a freedom now. We're done reading it point by point, so open up the floor. Honorable Prophet Clark, have your hand raised, my Lord. Can unmute.
Bless the love, my Lord. Again to the Lord. I know that I have one more where you read, King.
Okay. Where? Which one, Bobo?
Is number 9.
I'm not seeing it. Okay, if you have it, you can read it, my Lord.
Yeah, Lord, freedom.
Yes, sir.
Number 9 state to educate Black people in the West in their history, their culture, to an understanding of our aims and objectives. All funds shall be a special committee of the association appointed by the president, right? The committee shall be responsible for the disbursement of the funds association and the keeping and auditing of the accounts of the association. Selassie. Sure.
All right. My Lord, do you mind repeating it one time just for clarity?
Yeah, repeat it again, beloved.
My Lord. Number 9, aforesaid in the aims and the objectives of the association to educate Black people in the West in their history, their culture, to an understanding of our aims and objectives. All funds shall be a special committee of the association appointed by the president. The committee shall be responsible for the disbursement of the funds association and the keeping and auditing of the accounts of the association. So that's it.
Yeah, Rastafari.
Rastafari.
Give thanks, my Lord. So to educate Black people about our history and our intention as an association. And he also said the funds of the association is to go through the committee of that deals with the finances, like Priest had mentioned before. Was that, you know, the gist of it, Prophet?
My Lord. Naturally.
Give
Yes.
thanks. Yes, I.
Again,
Go
Let's
through
come, I just come back again to the governing body and the committee order, my Lord. You know, within the constitution still, as the priests and them say, and the empress and them say, you know, that kind of way is a seizure thing now, because it's how it begin. You know, that we end up in this situation here, that we had to fix it back from all our time. So, you know, give thanks to the platform to try to really rectify such problem, my Lord. So that's.
Yeah, that's the far right. Yeah, I mean, at least we can understand, you know, this African Liberation Network is not taking on the responsibility of rectifying the government. You know, that's for the EABIC, COS to do together. The African Liberation Network study group is just here for us to understand, you know, to reason about these things and to understand what is right and what is not right, so that we can have proper information to make good decisions, you know? Yeah, uneducated people can't make proper decisions. So anyway, the reasoning is open at this point. The Constitution is the topic, but we can, you know, discuss anything relevant to the government and the furthering of the development of our Congress still. Honorable Prophet Clarky, my Lord, you can unmute.
Love to the family again. I just want to bring up something again in the Constitution, my Lord. Towards I know I did read it, my Lord, but the meetings of the association, you touch that, Honorable?
Yes, John. Yes. Which, you know, even that was a little bit like, all right, the reality is there is a group, what ones and ones refer to as the online parliament, and they have, I have the understanding that they have a meeting on Wednesday and they have a meeting on Sunday. The Sunday meeting is the House reasoning, and the Wednesday reasoning, I think, is their cabinet meeting, which is not what the Constitution states. The Constitution says that the general meeting is supposed to be on Wednesday, and the committee or cabinet meeting shall be on Sunday. So that's a little bit of a, you know, difference from what the Constitution actually says. I don't really, you know, for all intents and purposes, I wouldn't really call that the official parliament of the association, you know, because it's not, one, it's not in the foundation, and you know, not everybody really agrees to it or supports it, you know, and yeah, it's just kind of like the brethren said, it's just a seizure of power, and that's not how we do things in this Congress. That's why King Emmanuel wrote a constitution, for us to not be trying to seize power, because the power belongs to the people, not to any one group or one clique, or, you know, not no age group, not just the man, not just the woman. It's equality, equal rights, and justice, you know, and that's what we have to find ourselves functioning in. Otherwise, we will be in problems as we are, you know, all of this unconstitutional behavior because of whatever reasons, you know, brings us to problems. All right, my Lord and Empress, Honorable Priest Headley, my Lord, you have anything else you wanted to say about the Constitution, Honorable?
Yes, my Lord, that I and I internationally, my Lord, obey the Constitution, you know, so that the headquarters can function properly, beloved, and set everything aright for the redemption of our people. That is very, very, very necessary at this time, because slavery, my Lord, is not far away.
Yes, sir.
We do have no whole heap of time, my brethren. From our father was here, the time was no at that time, much less now, my brethren, when we see right before our very eyes that the world has been controlled by the 440 frequency of the devil. That is even blocking a lot of our pineal gland, my brethren. You know?
Sorry.
That we can't see the sight, you know. It's happening before our eyes, yet we're not seeing it, and see that it's time to flee to the safe ground, beloved, the redemption ground, the repentance ground, my brethren. Because only righteousness can save forward Israel at this time. Naya being yard against the walls of Babylon ceaselessly. Dead to the wicked, because they say the frequency of the music of the people them is only on the mountain where the dove them must flee.
Yes, my Lord. So, Priest Headley, you know, as a representative from the foundation, you know, I mean, I don't think there's anyone else on from the foundation, and the voice of the foundation is, I mean, really very important in these type of things.
Beloved, because I wasn't feeling so well this day, I never go up to the courts, you know. I am speaking from on top of my hill, where I can get the frequency and it not cut out every minute, you know.
I understand.
But yeah, that's why I was even a bit late, you know, because of the temple, you know. Yeah.
I understand, my Lord, no problem. I just wanted to, you know, really reason and share the importance of the foundation. You know, the Constitution and the foundation are pretty much inseparable. It's not, as the I stated, you know, the parliament and committee have to function out of the foundation. Would you say, my Lord, that, because, all right, in the last reasoning on the Constitution, someone suggested that the 14-man committee be based in the parliament, and that committee should be the foundation of the parliament. 14 members from the parliament would make the committee, which would govern the foundation. And then the other, 18 members could be from other countries and other regions of the world. What do the foundation think about that, my Lord?
Beloved,
You think of that?
let us try Jah works to do, no man. Just try the man works to do, no man. That's why I said before, as I said before, not taking away any something from a man who is far away. But we need 32 people here to function as a fulfillment of our Father's words and desire, as a governance, my Lord, with 14 committees to make other committees to function, because everything that function within the courts is 7 people, 7 for brother for the gatehouse, 7 brother for the kitchen, 7 brother for the broom field, and so forth, my brother. So I'm saying this is why I ever cry for people, because it cannot function.
My Lord. The priest service is having a little issue. But when he come forward in, we'll just allow him to speak against the So precisely declaring that the foundation, the government must live in the foundation, can't be outside the foundation. The floor is open, you know. I'm not trying to dictate the conversation. I'm just speaking because no one else is speaking, but the reason is the
speak?
reason. Well, Empress Lily may just raise her hand, and if
Okay.
she can go through, I'll call on the next Empress Maisie.
Okay.
Clarify.
Bless the love, honorable
Blessed
family.
Majesty.
I totally agree. Because that's how it was running up on the Bogle Hill when His Majesty was reigning in his supreme, in his glory, you know. And when it run like that, salvation will be stronger, you know. Because the salvation will bring the freedom, redemption, and international repatriation, you know, with agitation, you know, one and with the other, you know.
Mhm.
I totally agree, my lord. 32-man parliament up on the hill. The 14-man committee, 7-man Broomfield, 7-man kitchen, 7-man office, 7-man gatehouse. You know, that's the order of King Emmanuel Charles Edwards. And that's gonna bring the freedom, redemption, and international repatriation. And anything short of that will be just years and years and years down in Babylon, you know. So all we have to do is try our works to do, and who don't want to come, you know, just know so well they can't be no among parliament, you know. And Jah will rise up people. My confident that Jah gonna rise up people, man, you know, to flock to Jerusalem schoolroom. Because over the years I have been seeing the Congress come right down to little bit of people. And then sometimes you can't even find space on the Congress, you know. So this is time for the little bit and time to come on, you know, Jah gonna rise this kingdom. Because Jerusalem, that's how Jerusalem schoolroom go. Even read prophecy, you know. So shake his wings and hope to fly, and Jah gather again and salvation roll, and you know, we believe saves the bit of people doing such mighty works, you know. So give thanks and glorify for this forum, the hosts and all brothers and sisters, you know, who trying to reason ourselves are right, you know, like the host said, this is not no rectifying or putting nothing in place. We just want to reason, you know, make the world know, you know, that there's a handful, you know, that is really want to see our Father foundation, you know, rise to the heights and the splendor and the glory that He set, you know. So all strength and power to this reasoning and each and everyone who voicing their opinion, and you know, all those who even saying nothing, you know, but the presence is appreciated.
Yes,
On Emmanuel eyes, Selassie,
yeah.
Yeah,
that's the
that's the
party.
parallel.
Yes,
That's it.
Empress. Glorify. Give thanks for the words, Mama. Call on Empress Maisie now, and then Honorable Priest Jermaine has his hand up next.
Oh, yes, beloved. Give thanks, you know, for the reasoning. You know, man say reason is better than preaching. And we are reason to build ourselves, all right, within understanding, you know, of Jah works. You know, man say try Jah works to do. You know, I totally agree with the elder. You know, I totally agree. We need people, you know. We need people for do that works. Yeah, we give thanks to those who are there, holding up the banner, the Psalms reading every morning, you know, morning, midday, and evening, we give thanks, and the tabernacle door is still open, you know, glorify, you know, all strength and power to the virgin them that are on the foundation. But the fact still remain honorable that they need strength. And we need our strength from our brothers and sisters who are outside to come in and help towards getting the Father foundation that He left, you know, running properly in principles, His laws and commandments. You know, because, you know, as Emperor said, you know, that I will bring in ones and ones. The man told us that. If I and I won't do it, then we bring in the wood and the stone. You understand? So I know in this time what happened, people gonna come to the foundation. People is going to flee to the foundation. You know, see, and I would do when I do nothing and I keep up whatever. We now got no space. Because I would say what you were there doing. It's our time now. So but to make sure that we have our place, you know, in God yard, whenever time, you know, the people them, you know, really say wait, you know, and start to flee to the other foundation. And see, so I give thanks, you know, for all what's said and done, my Lord. Give thanks again for the Constitution. I always have been saying that the Constitution is our Father, you know, and the words and the Constitution is Dada, right? So we give thanks, you know. God bless and give thanks to this, you know, the study groups area, you know, and all prosperity, my Lord. Blessed Lord.
Yes. Honorable Priest Germain, my Lord, you can unmute yourself and speak.
Blessed love, my Lord, Empress.
Blessed love, God.
It's yet another blessed day of reasonment. Give thanks Him for the topic of the Constitution going through. We could have, you know, come together and reason upon such things and get a full understanding and full meditation. You know, I'm just here thinking about, you know, how the earth run. You know, it ain't nothing that doesn't run out of principle. You know, I never see the sun 10 o'clock at night. You know what I mean? And I don't really see no stars in the sky at 11 a.m. in the morning. So everything have a governance, everything have a principle, and everything have, you know, that it should operate. You know, even within the system that I live, you know, as we know, you just can't do certain things as you like, or else, as I say, Babylon will come for you. You know, you just can't walk in people's house and take up the things and all of these things, and everything have a governance. You know, and we as a people, you know, we have a governance same way, you know, because as we know, we are a sovereign people, a government within a government, you know. And in terms of I living these principles, you know, I think that we should be living these principles and the Constitution every day to the best of our ability as man and woman, even though we may not be, you know, on a foundation or, you know, within the Congress as such as it is right now. But if we practice and continue to practice the principles and the constitutions and stuff like that, it will just become perfect, you know, because as they say, practice make perfect, you know. So if we continue to do the things that we ought to do, you know, there would be no space, you know what I mean? But because ones fail from doing the things that we ought to do, there's this gap and space, you know? And in terms of resurrecting it, I don't know how much of the ones them that left don't really return to say, go forward to Bower Hill and do these things, you know, in terms of numbers. Because as we know, you need numbers to form the committees, you know? You need individuals as ones that want to just stating to come and form the committee. So if the ones them who was there already is unwilling to come and participate, what about the new members? You know, because the man say, if we don't do it, you're gonna rise up sticks and stones and all kind of other things to do it. So therefore, I have the first option in order to make the thing work, you know? So unity is what we need, you know, in terms of that, you know what I mean? And the little divisions and the little, you know what I mean, little things that come to fraction I or separate I, you know, we should be more conscious of these things. That is Satan actually have a little hand in it, you know, and we should be able to recognize, you know what I mean, with a keen eye, the follies and the wrongs and correct those things and move forward. You know, so that's just my little 3 cents, you know, to put into the conversation in terms of the Constitution. And like I would say and reiterate again, if I and I, even in our everyday life, continue to practice principles and the written Constitution, there would be no need for all this right now. But because we haven't been practicing and implementing, there is a gap and there is a need. Selah.
My Lord. Give thanks for the word, sound priest. Yes, facts. You know, and I would say when it comes to, say, rectifying the government, in reality, like really having a parliament and a committee and all of these other different committees and stuff like that, it seems like, and I would love for someone to correct me if I'm wrong still. Jamaica now, the place where Bobo Shanti started, would probably have one of the highest numbers of Bobo Shanti people living in the country, right? So if the Bobos in Jamaica now don't want to live in the foundation and fill these offices, are we agreeing that in order for the numbers to rise again, it must be people moving there from other countries? And that's a question I'm asking to ones and ones who say that the foundation must be the central focus of you know, any organization, any government. Empress Maisie?
My Lord?
Could you answer that question? You see,
Well, you
hear
said,
what I
Bob,
said?
I didn't hear the question. I mean,
I was saying that being that Jamaica, the place where the Bobo Shanti, EABIC COS originated, right? And that's where the foundation is. And it's probably out of all the countries in the world, Jamaica has definitely one of the highest numbers of Bobo Shanti in the country. But apparently the ones who used to live there are not interested in living there anymore and not interested in upholding these offices. You know, so are we saying that now in order to create all of these committees and have things functioning properly, pardon me, that it would be dependent upon ones and ones moving there from other countries?
well, yes, it will be depending on ones and ones moving. Once they're going to abide, they can just, for them to do, take up offices and things, my Lord, they can just come to the foundation and spend a little 1 month or 2 months and then, you know, return back. They have to come for a while, you see.
Mm-hmm.
And there are a lot of bubbles in Jamaica right now. But I don't know why, you know, they're refraining from come to the Congress, you see. A lot of priests and parliament member out there, but they just don't want to come in to the Congress, my Lord, to take up the duties.
Mm-hmm.
And we have been calling for them to come in, but we don't see it. So if ones and ones from outside, you know, see it fit to come in and then take up them father duties. So why not? You know, only that them have to abide within the foundation for a while. You see, you can just come and go, come and then you spend a little time and then you go on again. That can work, my Lord.
Mm-hmm.
You see, and by right to the people them who have offices supposed to be living into the foundation, and that's how we are going to work together as a people, you know.
Yes,
So I see it, but I don't know.
True. I'm just
Other ones would see it,
mm-hmm.
you know, but it's how I see it.
Give thanks.
My Lord.
Yes, so all right, for someone like myself, right? I have children, I have little children that I really couldn't just move to another country. So And I don't know, maybe some people would be willing to bring their family too. I know, you know, like there are people who have moved their entire family from one country to Jamaica. So it's possible, you know, but it's really more reasonable and practical for someone who does not have a family to move in such a way, you know? So I'm just saying that just so ones and ones that's listening and ones and ones that's hearing the reasoning would know that is a call, you know, for people as free to move, come to the foundation. Yes, Empress.
If I may speak,
Mm-hmm.
yes, the foundation is for a family,
Mm-hmm.
right? And say, look at us. When I and I came into the foundation, yeah, we are family of 7 already, right? 5 children, and I am my king. And we came into the foundation. The foundation is there for family. You understand? For us, for them to come in and to build themselves within a right, and the children them grow up within the principles of the foundation.
Mm-hmm.
You know, see it. So it's not that, you know, you're your family and you bring along your family. You can't, if you're going to work for God, you can't be on the hill and then your family out there. Then your full avoided attention will be not focusing on God.
Right.
Work, are you going to meditate your children then?
Yes, sir.
You know, you're going to wonder what happened to them. So you're not going to have the full attention. But when you have your family with you, Bobo, you know, then naturally you're more focusing on the work, on the tasks ahead.
Mm-hmm.
You have your family, you are with them, so you know that, you know, whatever. You understand? So the foundation is built for a family, my Lord. You know, see, we live there. We are living evidence, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I am my king, and several family was there. You understand? So
Yes, give thanks.
I don't see a problem with family
All right.
coming to the foundation, Bobo.
Mm-hmm. Got a hand raise. We got a hand raise, Honorable Prophet Mpo. My Lord, you could unmute yourself.
Give thanks, my Lord. Can you give me a clarity, my Lord? When you're saying that people should come to the foundation, are we speaking also in terms of us as Africans yet? Oh, if I may ask.
Well, it's not, I didn't declare it. Priest Headley and Empress Maisie really more so may, and Empress Lily May also did agree. I'm really looking for clarity still, my Lord. So I couldn't answer that question.
Oh, true.
Honestly, I don't have the answer for that.
What the question the Virgin asked, Bobo? What the question is?
The Virgin was asking if the call is for ones and ones to move from wherever they are to the hill, are you also including people that live in Africa to leave Africa and come to Jamaica?
My Lord, we are here as a people chanting to go to Africa, right? So I would see that the call is for my brothers and sisters from Africa to come to the end of the earth, right? Because we are here chanting for 7 or 9 miles of black eye water ship, or 13 or whatever miles will do to go back to Africa. So I wouldn't see no sense for my brother them up there in South Africa, or whatever part of Africa, to return back to the West for repatriation, because that's where I and I are chanting to go. You understand? You see?
Yes, I.
Yeah, I wouldn't see that. That wouldn't be necessary. In myself, in my opinion, that wouldn't be necessary, because that's where we are chanting to go. Okay?
Yes, I. Give thanks.
True. Give thanks for that clarity.
Yes, sir.
Honorable.
Empress Lily was the next one with her hand raised. Empress, you could unmute yourself and speak.
Yes, honorables. Well, as usual, I only get to talk about my experience, you know. 20-something years ago, when King Emmanuel told me that he's gonna send me to Ethiopia personally, but it's gonna take some time. When I came back from the delegation with Priest Paul, who's come to Ethiopia, I stayed on the foundation until His Majesty made a move 1 year after I went to the Bahamas. And I was there working and saving my 2 cents to come to Ethiopia. But I want to see my grandchildren grow up to know me before I really leave, that we could have some kind of relationship, you know. Went to Canada to know the local one, and then my local twos and Bahamas amongst maybe used to go to here in the McDonald's and let's do things with them that they can remember me. But like 3 years in 2014, you know, some fire rise up in the Bahamas after
Oh, her Empress? Her connection maybe having a problem.
house, you know, and enjoying myself in 2015.
Empress, pardon.
Just Psalms reading.
Empress Lily.
Honorable.
It broke up for a minute, and we didn't hear a part of what you were saying. Could you backtrack a little bit and you know, say it again?
Yeah, one call was coming in, so I just declined the call.
Okay.
Okay. 2014, I went to Bobo Hill after 4 years break. I went to Bobo Hill in 2014. I had such a wonderful time. I decided, you know what, I come into Bobo Hill to help build up my father Congress again for 3 years. Then I'm coming to Ethiopia. So I went to Bahamas, collect my funds, and came back and built a house in 2015. I was there enjoying the 21 nights Naya Bingi I made, and we was gonna start. Sister Miriam was there too, and she did just build up the Empress Freedom Liberation League Journey House. You know, she did great works, man. Empress Miriam did great works with that Empress Freedom Liberation League Journey House and the bathroom, and Sister Sharon was there. And pardon me calling the names, my lord, but it's good things we do talking about, right? It's good things we're talking about. I pardon me for the new rules, you know, but you know, it was such glory. We brought back the foundation like in 1994 when Jah was, you know, sitting on his, you know, I should say 1990s when Jah was, you know, ruling supreme, you know, and Priest Dan Emmanuel told Priest Adwa that, you know, so he gave thanks how he bring forward, you know, the vibes like you know, like the Congress in those days, and that was really my aim. But one morning now I did Psalms reading, and one piece of thunderclap, I mean, enlightened come in my Bible, you know, and every one on the whole Congress shook. So I asked everyone, you heard that light and you see that, you heard that thunder, see that light, and everyone said, yes, we saw it, we heard it. So when I look over the palace, the Daniel, you know the palace is, right? But
Yes.
you don't know where the wrong house was. Sister Miriam, you know where the wrong house was. But between the wrong house and the palace, I saw this cloud with this hand pointing to the east. I just know that was a message for me. So this made my heart. But Dada, I just built a house. You know, the worst come forward to me. You just built a house, you better head to the east. It's me, Rasta, God, I'm Jamaica now for 4 months, just below, you know. And I say, you know what? I have to go forward and start preparing myself to go Africa, because if you don't take Jah word, you know, you could just drop out. So to answer the brethren, you know, question, I was willing to stay 3 years in Jamaica to bring my father foundation forward, you know, and I was gonna pull, because I was pulling people up there from Bahamas, you know. I was pulling people, as I was in Jamaica, and I was pulling people, everyone coming, they coming for celebration, and a lot of brethren came, you understand me, while I was up there, you know, for celebration. But just say, I must go Ethiopia, so, you know, that's how I reached in Ethiopia, you know, in 2017, because I go sit down in Bahamas 2016 and looking at all my big coats and all my brother and my sister in the tabernacle, and just say, what you sitting down here for? I bought so much craft from Priest Edley, some nice, beautiful craft I bought from Priest Edley and Priest Daniel. And I said, going one place. I ain't gonna call the names, so I can set up a shop so I could have a income when I come to Ethiopia, you know? And I asked just to show me if I must do that. And just say, you for do that for what? I nearly get a heart attack. You see, in 3 weeks, I reach Ethiopia because me not have a heart attack. Because when I rise up for the vision, I ask my lawyer sister friend, say, when is Lent? She say March 1st. I say March 1st is Congress anniversary. I say, Mom, check that out again and call me, and I want you to help me because I need a ticket to Ethiopia. And when I go, I ain't coming back. She said, okay, I can call you back. The time I have my little bubbler. So when she called me back, she said, yes, Empress. Congress anniversary and Lent, Ash Wednesday start the same day. This real child said, I need your help because I can be in Ethiopia in 2017 for Ash Wednesday and Congress anniversary. That's how I am here in Ethiopia, going for 5 years come February, 27. And I could tell anyone, come home here, come home if you could afford it. But what I find with a lot of people in the West, the finances is not there. I tell you the truth, the finances is not there. And people say, just come to Africa, you could come home in this. A lot of people have to wait on the star line because of the economical, hardship. If a man have 5 children, him and his wife, 7 ticket. Then COVID comes as the next thing. Dr. Abby called how much people home. You know how much people from Ethiopia coming home, the diaspora? And only must about 3 little rasta come home already, and the flights are booked out. So we give thanks, just do the right and let us chant, and bring the committee and the parliament together, man, and we can bring Starline ship. Because ain't nothing impossible with King Emmanuel Charles Evans, Malcolm Zaya, Gavin, Emperor Selassie, if we come in, Members Men and I, we come together in unity, man. We can move Jericho wall, we can take down. So don't do this redemption and repatriation look like it's impossible. Nothing impossible with God Almighty. King Emmanuel can do it if we get a parliament and a committee, and live right. Jack can do it, man, and we'll see Starliner come home. That's how they can bring up COVID, man, and thing. You understand me? They could give us ship same judgment, Balway. And Elizabeth song gone, so just hope so our next generation God move in their hearts, And then because some of them like, see Elizabeth next generation, them are no fool, they're hip, they know say black people will come home, You understand me? So God can move and Harry and Charles and all of their heart, and say, send the black people home, man. Time for them to get some justice in this judgment. Holy man, your eyes, last year, Rastafari.
Yes, sir. You get your clearance, Prophet Mpo?
It was clear, my Lord. Very clear. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Well, yeah, the floor is open still. Conversation around the topic of the Constitution, rectifying the government, understanding how our government is supposed to function. Yeah.
If I may speak when my time comes, my Lord.
You're free, Empress. Go through.
Okay. Give thanks again, for the word of the Honorable Empress. Same way. We have to declare the truths and right. I and I live it, Yes, and we can tell of glorious works that I and I, have seen with our eyes, upon Bobo Hill. If I and I, as a people, as the other children, who is so honorable, who is so fortunate to be taught by our Father himself, the right from wrong. You understand? How we must live as a people, how we must, share love amongst ourselves, minister one to another. If we just follow the Father word and the Father constitution that him leave, as I said before, to govern his government, to govern I and I as a people, then we wouldn't be having no problem, We wouldn't be having no problem. And I say this all the while. Because we are so disobedient, Dada is not there. Okay? So we don't have anybody to go and tell Dada, say, Dada XYZ, and Dada would call us and then reprimand us or talk to us. We just do whatever we want to do. You understand? And we just Walk out of the principle. Not abide by the principle anymore. Just do everything what you want to do. The government, the loyalty and thing one must pay to the government when that did dead. No more. Nobody want to come to the foundation anymore because that is not there, but that is there, right? But then forgot that when you see one, you see him God. You see the least you do unto one. You do it unto the Almighty. When you see me, you look at Mama. You look at my Father. The word I speak is of my Father, right? The good word. You understand? So if we just abide by within the laws and the principles and the commandment of Father Moses, then we would not be having this conversation. We wouldn't be having reason about the Constitution and what the Constitution stands for. Because we don't know what the Constitution stands for, right? But because we want to do other stuff, you understand? Some people say take it to the higher level, but there's no higher level, yeah? God set in principle, and we must abide by the principle of Father Moses. You see, the laws and the commandments and the principles and the statutes of the Ethiopia Africa Black International Congress. You see? And because we not abide by it, step out there, that's why you find we are in such a divided. We are such divided amongst ourselves, as brothers and sisters. We are not moving within the unity, within the love, within the loyalty that our Father taught us. You understand? So we must get back into the principle, the teaching of Father Moses, You understand, my Lord and Empress? I give thanks again to all good words, all upful words, all word of strength and encouragement. So, and I can, Jah Rastafari, my Lord.
Give thanks, Empress. Jaw Clark, you have his hand raised. Before you unmute, my Lord, I wanted to say a couple of things. I'm getting some comments in the chat, the live chat from the YouTube video. I have an Empress Akosua is saying, the situation in Jamaica is really bad, but in Africa, there's so much land, she's saying that they could build a whole community there. So now, all right, I understand also that King Emmanuel told who can buy a ticket to go to Africa, so now, but all right, so who can afford could buy a ticket, but then he also, like I said before, not everybody can afford a ticket, everybody is, most of us out here in the West suffer and struggle with finances. We struggle with financial difficulties. So it's not so easy for them to just buy a plane ticket. Like she said, if you have a family, plane ticket is one thing. You're looking at $10,000 if you got 6-7 people in your household. Plane ticket is one thing, but then when you get there, you have to have somewhere to find yourself. You can't just come and, just exist in Africa. You have to be able to establish yourself too. So as we're talking serious money and resources would be necessary. And because we are not established as a Congress fully either in the West or in Africa, you don't have a community to go to in Africa that you could just show up and have a place to be. So there's levels to it still, of course we would encourage ones and ones to leave the West and go to Africa, but do it in a smart way still. Don't just don't jump out the frying pan and into a fire, but also when it comes to the government or the Congress, the foundation is there and it is one place and it is not moved until the whole government moves with repatriation, So is not to say that we're asking every Black person to move to Jamaica or to move to Bobo Hill. It's just those who want to, first of all, who could get there. Second of all, who's willing to sacrifice of themselves for the development of the government, and be willing to stay until we are finished agitating for our rights, because we receive what we've been demanding for so many years Yes. So through unity, we can make it easier for one another. But the reality is, right now, we're not unified. We're not really that organized, and we're not structured. So we're this constitution reasoning and this call for a proper government for the EABIC is really to make it to where we can function as a government and make it easier on ourselves. Right now, it's hard. Yes. So with that being said, I would just like to call on Honorable Prophet Clarkey. You can unmute yourself, my Lord, and speak.
Bless the love, my Lord, family. My Lord, Honorable host, my Lord, below the in the Constitution, below the policy and the philosophy, it has something written like the subscriptions and contributions, disbursements of funds, keeping of account, right, and other contributions are collected at the headquarters of the association at 10 Mile, Bull Bay, St. Andrew, Jamaica, Western League, formerly 54B Spanish Town Road in the parish of St. Andrew, Celestia, my Lord.
What was the question, my Lord?
I read something just now there underneath the last page you read in the Constitution with policy and philosophy. It is something weird.
Yes, my Lord, we did read over that.
Subscriptions and contributions.
Yes, I. Yes, Majesty.
Lord. And that was one, and I just want to just read something to the eye, my Lord.
Yes,
Consider Constitution at the present moment we be reading it. You know, if we follow the works of King Emmanuel, my Lord, it's just to pick it up and let it manifest. Now the divinity and how Emmanuel set the order with the movement for our freedom, my Lord, is the highest way as a representative for I and I as Black people out here, my Lord. I have something written documented, my Lord. I'll just like to read to the eye and freedom, you will be sure. You know, my
sorry. Go through, my Lord.
Lord.
That's
I, the Black man of justice, was declared by Mr. Crook of the United Nations as the champion of human rights. I was also paid a visit at my foundation at 10 Miles, Bull Bay, on the 27th of August, 1981, by the present United Nations representative of human rights, America, Mr. Jacob Jury. He came as a witness. State again, this man, which is Jacob Jury, a representative, United Nations, came as a witness. See, my view, which is King Emmanuel's view of freedom, international repatriation, true righteousness of salvation. And in a speech, told the congregation that they were safe and that they would get where they are going under this skillful guidance of Prince Edward Suleiman Malai.
Yeah, that's the fact.
These is the kind of letters, my Lord, and the moves, my Lord, and the testimonies that the King, my Lord, that he made for us, my Lord, Jacob Jury, the United Nations novelist, my Lord, highly for our freedom and the charter, my Lord. We see within the fulfillment of the Congress, my Lord, and work, Chad. Because right now the world setting up the world underneath plots and certain things, my Lord. You know, so, John, know what we did, you know, we did to fight back for what is rightfully our own, you know, for the aims and the objectives of the association to redeem our night back from out of the West to go back motherland, Ethiopia, Africa now. So, you know, the Constitution is the generating point, the generative point of this whole association, my Lord. I will be dwelling with my Lord, King Emmanuel order, his laws, his commandments, and the principles, the statutes, everything was reasoned from the elders and all the different points, my Lord. It is a fact. It is a truth, my Lord. So, you know, give thanks for who is all right, my Lord. Yes.
Give thanks for the word, my Lord. Yes, because I mean, really, when it comes to say migrating, or you know, it's repatriation if you move yourself and your family to Africa, same way, you know, it's the same thing. But King Emmanuel, from what I understand, even just through my own reading and listening, what I'm able to discern is that this Congress didn't get established for us to just think of it as to think of repatriation as every man who can afford it to do it. He demanded of the Queen, you know, for the rights of all Black people, all African children, you know, that was descendants of people who went through the slave trade, you know. So he wouldn't just agitate for Bobo Shanti to move to Africa. He wouldn't just ask or agitate for those in Jamaica or in any country, and there's no specifics, it's just Black people, you know, to move to Africa. But before, you know, if you notice, when we read the membership principles, the first principle was righteousness, you know? Before we get to this repatriation part and all of that is righteousness. He said he wanted to bring us to righteousness. And that's what we tend to overlook, you know, is that it's not just about moving. Yeah, because I mean, yeah, plenty of people can buy a ticket and move themselves. Yeah, but are they fixing their internal? Are they really rectifying themselves? Or are they just taking foolishness from one place to another place to go do foolishness somewhere else? You know? Yeah. So give thanks for the Black Christ salvation, you know? Yeah. That's what this is really, the foundation of it is the Sabbath, you know, and that's salvation. The repatriation, yes, that's a must as well, but within an order, same way. Champo, my Lord, you can unmute.
Give thanks, my Lord. I just wanted to give the I family a bit of updates, you know. Yeah, as the I said that if you have the capacity to come and repatriate thyself to the land, there are places of which angels have been sent, you know. And one thing I must emphasize a lot on, you know, is that they need the brotherly and sisterly love, you know, because all right, this way for those who came here since the inception from the 1993 up until now, many of them have gone through a lot of atrocities, a lot, you know, and even till this time, in this last judgment, you know, yet they still live, you know, they live. We here in South Africa, for one, you know, we join hands, you know, in finance and found land, you know, that we are leasing right now, you know, of which the priest is staying at, you know. And one thing I've noticed from my part, you know, because of the division, you know, of ones and ones, you know, things are being stagnant, you know. So I would send this message, you know, to the international community of the Ethiopia Africa Black International Congress, that if you can, don't hide it, you know, just come and as the Honorable Right Priest has said, you know, try Jaja works to do, you know, because a lot of things, you know, are not moving forward because of the lack of help to the angels who are here, you know. So yeah, we agitate, let us agitate together, and really have one for this love, and those who don't love, but those who love, God, the great Almighty. So come on, to an international call, for all black sons and daughters to come back home to this land. This land is for you, black sons and daughters. It's not for the white man, it's not for the Chinese, for the Indian. It's for the idol, and we give thanks for all the works, for on the four corners of Africa. All of them came. For me, on my part, I just humbly honor them because they've done so much, they've gone through the atrocities, trials and tribulations they faced, for the constitution, and they still keep it even in this time. So yeah, just a heart of love to the black family, and come home. If you can come home. For those who have the ability to be a part of the parliament, go to the parliament and take stand, because we seek only a nation building, we seek the Ethiopia Royal Wealth Nation Kingdom, to be full, to be like the Nile Bank, So it's love again. Give thanks, my Lord, for making this podium, This podium it helps us, as we study, we are studying, and we're not only just studying, we're also implementing, So let's do Jaja works. Most Selassie,
Rastafari. My Lord, give thanks for the testimony. It is my pleasure, really, to provide the African Liberation Network for us to build ourselves together, Yeah, give thanks for you being here, for everyone being present, and sharing and helping to build, build on the information that we all possess, iron sharpen iron, one hand wash the other. Empress Leanne had her hand raised. Empress, you can unmute yourself.
Bless the love, my Lord.
Blessed and honorable.
Yes, Majesty. Bless the love, my Lord and Empress. Give thanks for life and mighty life giver. Holy Emmanuel, I, Selassie. Yes, I give thanks for all loved ones in Rastafari and everyone present on the reasoning again. But I in and out of the reasoning because, my phone giving a little trouble ever so often it overheating and cutting off. So I hope I get enough time here to say what I have to say. I'll try to be less than 5 minutes. But the little that I hear since I come forward, I hear some important points, Joe. And I want to just, put an input on it. The point about going to Africa, is a very good thing, just say who could go, Ja Daniel draw a very important point, where you talk about righteousness, where the foundation was really righteousness before the whole repatriation thing come about, and that is very, very important because you could leave one place and really move to another place with no foolishness, and to the end of the journey, still wouldn't accomplish what needs to be accomplished, So that is very important still, that internal cleansing and that self-righteousness, not to be pompous, but, to carry on the journey in the right way. As the king said that progress is progress. Progress must be moral. You understand? So that is in all aspects, physical, spiritual, mental, And the brethren that speak, I believe from South Africa, we talk about come home. That is very important too, because as just say, who could go. And I personally believe that Jah has some works out in Africa itself, some serious works to do concerning repatriation. It have works out here too, not forsaking the foundation in the headquarters in Jamaica Day. That is the fullness out there in the West. But the man has some serious works to be done in Africa too concerning freedom redemption. If it's with governments or whatever. I may not know, but I just feel it and know it. You understand? And it's just time to reveal it. That's why he sent some angels down in Ethiopia, up in Ethiopia some years ago, with the mission failed. But it had to continue, you understand? It's because he had plans from since them time. And right now we're doing overtime in hell. You understand? But your hands still stretched out still. So it has some important points on both ends going. And you know, out there has some important works too still. But you see that point to Georgia Daniel about that righteousness before the repatriation talk. That is the fullness, my Lord. You understand? Yes, sir. If we was really living like that, we was really carrying through that, we done home already. We done home already, my Lord, you know. But as I say, your hands is stretched out still, you know. Holy Emmanuel lies, Celestia, Cha,
Yeah,
Rastafari. That's my few points of contribution for the moment, my Lord and Empress. If the item miss me soon again, it's because the phone cut off. I hope it could cool down that I could join the angels again, my Lord and Empress. Give thanks, blessed love.
Blessed love, Empress. Give thanks for your word sound. Yeah. And give thanks for your presence. And we understand the internet is not reliable at all times. So it is what it is. Give thanks for your contribution to the study groups anyway.
Blessed love, my Lord.
You know, I noticed some Bobo move to Africa and move away from other Bobo. Like they don't want to be around each other, you know what I mean? And from what I understand through reasoning with elders, is that King Emmanuel never really dealt with just one man, one woman doing things. It was always groups of people doing things together. So, you know, moving to the continent and disassociating yourself from your brothers and sisters, is that really, you know, what the principle of repatriation that King Emmanuel's agenda was pushing, you know? I asked that question. I'm not making a statement. I'm just curious, you know, are we supposed to be moving there and being alone? Or are we supposed to be moving as a group and establishing ourselves together in the land or what, you know? We had a hand raised, Brother Joseph. My Lord, you can unmute yourself and speak.
Blessed love, my Lord, blessed love.
Blessed love, my Lord.
Give thanks for the Ethiopia Africa Black International Congress Church of Salvation, my Lord and Empress. Give thanks for the reasoning, my Lord, about the Constitution, my Lord. It is very important to all people, to all Bobo Shantis around the world. Of course, especially to the foundation, to the headquarters, to abide by this Constitution, but it is also to, I see it is a calling to build unity around the progress and around the aims and objectives of the Ethiopia Africa Black International Congress, because it is, I mean, we can really do what we will, my Lord. There is enough strength, my Lord, for the members that are outside of the foundation, that are outside of the headquarters, to strengthen the headquarters in a way that the Congress is and the office of the Congress are fulfilled. So I do give thanks for the calling to all members to reach the foundation at a time when that time is, when it is possible for someone to go to the foundation to strengthen the foundation, but it is also a need by the Constitution. As we see in the Constitution, it talk about representatives that are outside, but sometimes, I mean, if it happens in Jamaica that people lives outside of the foundation and then detach themselves from the work of the Congress, think about how that happens internationally. Like people is in other countries and they just detach themselves. So I give thanks for my love for this forum where ones and ones can come from different parts of the world and align ourselves to one aim and objective. So yes, I really love that calling, my love, for all us to reach the foundation, but I see that I make the calling that ones and ones that are outside see the way to communicate with the foundation. So I give thanks, my love, because this has been for me a platform where I have really answered a lot of questions I had from the words of the elders. So I give thanks for the elders' presence and the elders' word. And I really invite anyone that's hearing from any part of the world to join to the Congress works, because there is, fields are black and harvest waiting. So who will bear the shifts away? My Lord and Empress, blessed love.
Worthy. Give thanks, my Lord. We had the next hand raised. Honorable Priest Dougie, my Lord, you can speak. You're already unmuted.
Yeah, give thanks, for all the settings of the Congress. Give thanks for all its members. Give thanks for the original love that brought us to the man, that's supposed to guide us on our journey. Give thanks for the I and this forum, as the Virgin say, a forum that I and I can come together and discuss our Father's business. I just want to input, just a little input right here in attempting to address the question that I posed a while ago. There's a songwriter that wrote a song that says, circumstances made I and I who I am. It has not been an easy journey. You understand? And Jah never promised we an easy journey. The man says long suffering and tribulation mark the way. So I and I is aware of that. Sometime in an attempt to preserve oneself, one have to do what is best for them at that moment. Because as much as the work is important and the business of the Congress is primary, without the individual being able to function at their optimum capacity, it doesn't serve I and I any benefit as well. So for those ones to really speak on behalf of those ones that may have entered the Congress and have gone off on their own pilgrimage, I would say our ones have that right and that freedom, because along with the concept of collaborative interaction, Jah also taught I and I that one can rise 1,000. So man and man was also taught not to minister to the well. We didn't come here to bring the medicine to those that are already well. Those that don't know Jah name and heard Jah name. We don't have to bring that medicine to them. It's those that never heard Jah name, you understand, don't know what a divine levity is, that I and I come to inspire. So as long as a man is wherever he is, living to the levity and the standard that he was taught, you understand, he's fulfilling the works. Now, I and I must always remember that this is a volunteer Ethiopian trad. So ones and ones who are coming in, ones and ones that are here, have to see a place within the Congress where they are comfortable and apply that voluntary action to it. That means whatever your capacity is, whatever your capability is, if it's in administration, if it is in teaching, if it is in engineering, in craft making, shoemaking, whatever it is, the one must see that fullness and apply themselves to strengthening the Congress from that era, their strength. because it's a government, and a government has many facets to it, many areas to it that lets it function. And one of our weakest area so far is self-sufficiency. Something that Dada was very adamant about and practical about. That's why I'm set a Broomfield, Matt, Sandals, you know, Craft. He taught us to be self-sufficient. And as we know, when putting dollars together, the more we come together and put our dollars together, is the more impact we can have, whether it is in changing our situation of struggling or even having a say in decision-making within our space. You know? So I'm saying all this to say that, you know, there are different facets to strengthening the government. You know, we can't just look at just the service gathering or just the group unity. And the man of, there's a saying, until you walk a mile in a one shoe, you don't know what a one is going through. So as long as a one is living the live, that is the most important thing, because man and men will see that light from his live, you know, and aspire to it. And that is what the Father wants. Man to turn from wrong to right, my Lord.
Honorable. Thanks for the word, sound, my Lord. Floor is open, you know, topic is Constitution. Anyone, you know, feel free to reason. Yeah, I mean, as far as the actual Constitution itself, I would say the biggest controversy was just the presidency, you know. Priest Headley gave some clearance on that whole situation because that was causing a bit of contention, you know, and disagreement. And I'm sure it still will be an issue that will still need to be talked about. Yeah, because
my Lord.
Yes, sir.
My Lord, could you, sorry, you know, so my thing get caught up. I missed the clearance that my beloved brother gave. Could you give me a synopsis of it or a concise version of it?
Yes, Honorable, no problem. He said the 32-member parliament is the governing body of the association, as it's stated in the Constitution, you know, that King Emmanuel is the president for life. You know, he said all of the other different ministries should be selected by the parliament. Yeah, the committee, all the different committees and ministers and all that stuff should be selected by the parliament. The parliament is supposed to live in the foundation, and the committee is also supposed to live in the foundation. He said that, you know, we just need more strength in order for the government to be able to run, more people there to fill certain offices and things like that. Yeah, and now we don't need a figurehead president, because that's what the 32-member parliament is for. And the 33rd would be the president, King Emmanuel. If I left out anything, and anyone that's here, was here for that reason, if I left out anything, you know, feel free to, you know, fill in the blanks. But that was what I got from it still, my Lord.
So was there mention in that declaration of a leading empress being part of the parliament?
Yes, Empress Maisie did mention the fact that there's 31 men and a leading empress from the Women's Freedom League would make up the 32, and then the 33rd would be King Emmanuel. Yes, sir.
I myself will agree with the fact that, you know, the Father is president for life. And just as the world itself is evolving from that totalitarian type leadership, because absolute power corrupts. And no matter how we feel that we are, you know, infallible, we are human. And as humans, there, as His Majesty Haile Selassie I said, there is no perfection in humanity. So we are susceptible to temptation and other weaknesses. And as such, that's why we become our brothers and sisters' keeper. So together, you know, that principle of parliament and committee is a fail-safe mechanism that doesn't allow for I and I to individually deviate in any way from the principles and liberty that the Father set. So I endorse that fullness that recently stated. And, you know, the one thing that I would like some more clarity on, because that was not my understanding during the process of the assembly of the parliament in reasoning with the Father. The parliament was set up of ones that were global. There is ambassadors who are supposed to be a part of this system, you know, because there are other camps. This is how you're going to tie your camp into the government structure now. There are other camps with leaders, and two is one saying and one doing. And if you're representing the EABIC, is one order. You know, to maintain that one order, there has to be a way in which we all collaborate and, you know, tap into the headquarters and to the powerhouse. That would be where now the ambassadors play their role as parliamentarians as such, you know, sitting in council together to deal with the Father's international business. Now the committee, as I understood it, would be the ones that would run the local affairs in fullness, you know, organizing whatever needs to be organized on the Hill, you know, within the space of Jamaica as well, whether it is agitation to the government, to the Queen's representative and to the Queen herself and whatever, you know, they would be in charge of dealing with that, with assistance from all of I and I same way, because, you know, it's I and I brethren and sisters. So if them reach out and say they need assistance, we are obligated and duty bound to give that assistance. But that was I'm an understanding, you know. I could have misunderstood, you know. Like I say, humanity is fallible. Give thanks.
Yes, my Lord, glorify. Priest Headley isn't under reasoning anymore to really give any clearance on that, but you know, maybe in the next reasoning between now and then, I can reason with him and ask him what you just said, and you know, we can communicate and come to, you know, a agreed conclusion on the subject. Yeah.
I will always defer to my brother still, because I highly respect Priest Headley. He has been a standard of principle, you know. But like I said, we all are fallible and we can be interpreting things a little way different. So just open communication clarifies all things, you know.
Yes, my Lord. Honorable Empress Leanne's hand is raised. Empress, you could unmute yourself and speak.
Yes, my Lord, bless the Lord, my Lord and Empress. Give thanks for life and in mighty life give again. Holy Emmanuel, I all right. My Lord and Empress, you see the Constitution, Power Shanti teaching and culture is when the Constitution talk, God talk. You understand, my Lord and Empress? When the Constitution talk, God talk. It have one president. The Constitution come like the heart of the government. You understand? Along with things like the Sabbath and these kind of things, foundation. You understand? And when the Constitution talk, God talk, Rasta. You understand? He may not be here in flesh or the flesh of himself, but he's here and his word is here. As they say in the beginning was the word, and the word was God, and the word, you know how that word go? I don't remember the exact word, but in the beginning was the word. You understand? From foundational time. The word remain in the Constitution that there is one president, and it have one president for life. You see, all this debate about the president and all this kind of thing, simple little ABC thing, y'all even know. Simple little ABC, if you just read and understand and go along. You see all this debate that is about, that come like a waste of spiritual strength, mental strength, physical strength, you put it in a certain emotional discord and all these different kind of things, you know, my Lord and Empress. You see the Constitution, that is King Emmanuel talk. When the priest and them declare in the Congress, they say give thanks for our President, God and King, the black Honorable King Emmanuel, the Black Right Honorable King Emmanuel Charles Edwards. So you see all this masquerade and all this show of simple ABC, but I also Satan is working on. He like to cherish simple things, and that is one of his biggest weapon in this Congress. When the Constitution talk, God talk, and it have one president for life who bear 5 bleeding wounds for all I. And anybody fight that without apology to anyone, they must fight the Black Christ. You understand, my Lord and Empress? When the Constitution talk, God talk, and it have one president who bear 5 bleeding wounds for everyone, the whole world. You understand? Is who want to accept him. Give thanks, my Lord and Empress, for another moment to speak. Blessed Lord.
Yes, beloved, give thanks for the word, Sam. I don't think you would find any disagreement here, regarding the importance of the Constitution and the finality. What he said is what he said.
I'm willing to die for Bobo. I personally willing to die for that, my Lord. That's just my personal concept there, my Lord.
Mm-hmm. Give thanks. Empress Lily May had her hand raised. Empress, you can feel free to unmute and reason.
Bless the Lord, my Lord, for all what is said and done. Just to refer to what Honorable Priest Dougie said about the Constitution and that ambassadors from different countries supposed to be represented in the Constitution. I did hear some reasoning about that also. And then it states now that all parliamentarians supposed to be living on the foundation, Yet we have ambassadors all over the world that is supposed to be represented in Constitution. You understand what I'm saying, Prophet Daniel?
Yes, Honorable.
So if we have 32 parliamentarians, okay? We have the 40-man committee, okay? And we are functioning. You would need no figurehead president, you understand? Because the Empress just said, just president for life. But if you don't have, okay, this 32-man or 31 man or one woman representing the parliament functioning. Look at our Congress now. It wasn't for the salvation on top of Bobo Hill. We don't have a committee. The parliament is out a road, so to speak, but yet the Congress on the salvation road is still, strong. You understand me? So it's time for us now to just, stop the whole heap of talk. And I always say this, man. Just get the committee, And if the committee represent the president, which is King Emmanuel Charles Edwards, then they have the authority to pick the parliament. And like Priest Dougie said, well, if you can put ambassadors from outer road, well, the Constitution says everyone's supposed to be living in the yard. So we have to come amongst ourselves and reason, amongst one another and ask us how are we going to do this? And let's start doing the work. We could be here reasoning until next 5, 10, 20 years. And if we don't put some action or do something, And I always put my foot in my mouth, But Honorable Priest Justice said they call on March 1st, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So if you just rectify this president business, this committee business, and this parliament business one time and just done. Pick your 40-man committee in this judgment, but make them pick congressman. We have enough eligible people in this Congress. You understand me? And if you send a man or you pick a man, get him to come, and if he don't come and pick a next man, look at how big this Congress is. You see, but people in Jamaica want to have to know, say, they need it and they want it and feel welcome. You understand me? No say, just send out the word, God live in heart. Just send out the word, say, my Lord, I'd love you to come in to even try help be part of the parliament. You understand me? And come and live, on the foundation. And you never know how God will King Man Charles able to move in that man heart, man, and just turn that man heart, and he just find himself up above hill. Because why? Javin Parliament pick already, and this committee pick already, It's just for we as a body of people, man, and find we one another worthy. Just make ourselves worthy. Look when a man falls, or he ain't do this, or he ain't been in Congress so much years, or he just send out the word, man, Say, and encourage people, man, encourage people to come and be a part of this parliament and this committee, and let's put our father Congress in order, man. This only for talking, and no action, It'd be Aryan. Because trust me, you see, if I was in the West, I'd be in right up there. And my big mouth, and calling this one and doing this like I some kind of leader on behalf of the league. But that's how I move on my Congress, When I put Boba Hill, trust me, I just put things in order and on the salvation, like order. Psalms reading, let's go, come on, priest, who carrying up today and who holding God for Psalms read, for service after Psalms reading, fasting service have to go to Monday, Wednesday, and Friday night service. And you understand me? And we could do it, that's how we do it on the salvation order. We could do it on the governmental order, but we have to be bold and demand these things. You can't be no coward. This is our government. This ain't no one-man government. You understand me? Only because of a man stand up now and I take licks and think, he could go on like he's the president or he's this and that. Because everybody else afraid to take two little lick. You understand me? Or two little bad mouth or spiritual fire or whatever. You can't be afraid. You have to be bold in this, man. You ain't called no cowards.
Mm-hmm.
And you see, if justice wouldn't stand up and open as well, who else was going to do it? Open up their mouth. That's why he can say he won't be president now, because I him stand up and take licks and this to that. Everybody else going out this way, going that way. You understand me? And I talk. Well, make them come up there and face the gunmen or face this or face that. Them not do that because they don't say they don't want to lose their life. Like we said, say, man, you have to be a sacrificial lamb. You can't. Anyways, please, Prophet Daniel, I say my look up peace. You understand me? But you have to be bold, man. I'm calling all them ambassadors, who are all about. Make them come up and set the parliament right. And let's do new people. And this judgment on Emmanuel last year.
Yeah.
Pardon me. I see vice in the West. I try in Ethiopia, man. I love my Congress. Trust me, I just love my Congress. I go in Ethiopia.
We know you do, Empress. We know you love this Congress, and that's why you're here, taking your time to even reason with us this morning. And we give thanks. Well, it's afternoon now, but give thanks for your presence and give thanks for your words and your passion and your care, because if everybody had the heart to really care, then we wouldn't be where we are right now,
Yes, my Lord.
Yes, and
Yes.
I'll leave it there. But Jack Carlton, you had a hand raised, my Lord. You can unmute yourself and speak.
Love, blessed love in the house again. Give thanks for another day, Another day of reasoning, another day of life. Holy Emmanuel I, Selassie I, Jah, Rastafari. Love, my brothers and sisters. Give thanks again. Yes, give thanks for the Constitution reasoning again. Pardon my lateness, Been a bit busy today, but I'm glad that I can have time, to tune in and catch a piece of the reasoning. So I've missed most of it really, probably the last 15 minutes I've been on, and I was on the last one and I did have a question on that last Constitution reasoning that, I didn't fully get an answer for because, the way the reasoning was going, I was cut off actually from the audio. I couldn't hear. So I had to go back on and listen and see, But either way, I was bringing the point of
a change in the constitution in terms of the wording, you know, because of the way it's worded. Certain things we need a understanding through the way things have come. For example, King Emmanuel, you know, he is now in us, as he always has been, but you know, he's physically not here in that flesh. And certain things like that have to bring a different understanding, which we all will, but a youth or an outsider reading this will be like, so where is King Emmanuel, you know? And so on and so forth, and you're gonna have to explain this and that. But the main importance really was the fact of this 33rd, or I could even say the first man, you know, and then the other 32 make up the rest. But this first man, or 33rd, either way you want to put it, because a lot of people talk about we need 32, and King Emmanuel is president for life. So yes, that is in the constitution, understand it, you know, no room for different understandings there, you know, it's pretty plain. But there is a reason for the number being 33. So I don't know if this, if anybody reasoned on this earlier, but you know, it's not an even number. So that means in decision making, you know, voting and these things there, when things go on and you reach 16 votes each, what will happen?
Correct.
You see, so that 33rd man is not just for president's sake. We're not, you know, I'm not just trying to change the presidency and change all this, and you know, I'm just saying that one priest did put it to me, you know, everybody's had their views on this presidency and what we should do, and one priest gave it to me pretty plain, and he said we just need 33, man. And I said 33 priests, and he said yeah, 33 we need, you know, which makes sense through the voting and these things there. And he said yeah, King Emmanuel is in order, we already, so he's in the constitution no matter what, he's in the parliament no matter what, but we need 33 man, you know, and it's done, you know, and probably a little amending to the constitution within wording, and we can go on and do the work. There will be less, you know, up and down, arguing over this and that and different interpretations, because there's no need for all these different interpretations when the word is pretty plain, you know. So it's just to do the work right now. But, you know, like many ones are saying, we hear arguing over this and that, and it's just cutting down on the work, or we have to do our things individually.
One more minute, my lord.
Okay, so yeah, my point basically is everybody, if we can meditate on the 33, because if we have the 32, you know, how are we going to still deal with it within society, within what we have to do? Because there's a reason for that, you know. So that's my only point, really. Blessed love.
Worthy, give thanks, my lord, for that point. And I would just say, you know, when it comes to righteousness, it's not a majority rule thing. You know, I don't know how the parliament functions still, you know, if it's a vote kind of deal, and maybe one of the elders could fill in that information, but I know righteousness is not about everybody voting for it, and that's what we agree with, but it is the people's government, so there's got to be a way to minister righteousness, but still be just and fair, that everybody's voice could be heard. Honorable Priest Dougie, you had your hand up, my lord. Did you want to speak?
Yes, my lord. The Virgin is making a very practical and sensible analysis, or you know, his opinion is very weighty, because while we acknowledge that as being president for life, he's right. If we are a government, there are procedures, you know, that a government uses as their template of function. So if we are functioning, this is not the church now functioning, you know. This is functioning as the government, as the Ethiopia Africa Black International Congress. We're leaving off the true Church of Divine Salvation for now, not in the sense of separating church and state, but we're talking about the functioning of the parliament, you know, via the constitution. There are gonna be times when it has to be put to a vote, whatever the change is being proposed. There has to be a mechanism in which we deal with things realistically, you know, unless we're going to come up with a new, different way of, you know, getting a consensus on an issue. It's a vote. That's the word. So if you're voting, and like the Virgin say, you have a lock vote, you need the breaker. You understand? That's why there is an uneven number, because that person now, that vote would be the majority vote. So there has to be a practical assessment in structuring our way forward, you know. And we are in modern times, my brethren, and we are people that are intelligent, whether you're self-educated or institutionally educated, you know, intelligent people with wise minds. We must be able to look at things rationally and not sentimentally all the while. You know, I love the passion of all of Ionica. We have to be passionate about what we love dearly, which is our Congress and the liberty. But we also have to be rational and practical in our governance and the way we set up our structure. See, I agree with Empress Lily. A lot of talking has been going on, but in some sense it needs it, because it's a form of healing as well. You know, we have to learn to be patient and tolerant with one another, because not all of us are at the same level at the same time. So by communicating, by reasoning, we help to bring up each other to that standard level. You know, so that is what is going on right now. Ones are being educated on what the Constitution is, the power that the Constitution gives us, you know, and the interpretation of the Constitution, which is what is the problem right now, interpreting the Constitution. And the last thing, the Constitution has to be amended. Let us stop being sentimental. Amending the Constitution is what Dada would do, just like His Majesty amended his Constitution. Those are practical measures. When a thing has become outdated in certain areas, you update it. That is all that is. Nobody's changing the foundational principles. It's just changing a few words that make the here and now more present in the Constitution. Give thanks.
It's my Lord. Give thanks for the word, son. You know, when the earlier, you know, for those who wasn't on, like Priest Ducky and Jack Carlton, when we did touch on the topic of the 33 members and the president and all of that, what I brought forward to the platform, which was the first real reasoning that we even had to begin the program today, what I brought forth was this idea that, you know, there's duties that the president, as it's outlined in the Congress, has to do that no one else could do, you know, like choosing members, trustees, choosing parliament members, etc. The president has to do that. The president can appoint and disappoint, but without a president, I was asking, you know, how do those duties still get handled? And from what I got from Priest Headley, and I'm paraphrasing, and I do stand to be corrected, and if I leave out anything, I would hope that one of my brothers and sisters who was here earlier could even fill in. But, you know, he just said that, you know, King Emmanuel is the president and we don't need a figurehead. And that, you know, even Priest Justice is a parliament member, so he would be a part of said parliament and the decision-making processes and things like that. And the parliament basically would be like the president, you know, the parliament itself would be the governing body. Whereas before King Emmanuel was the governing body, or Goody, now the parliament would replace him. And the way that it's written, where it says that he's the president for life, apparently was intentional, you know? I think King Emmanuel, I'm speculating at this point. This is not fact, but this is what I think. I think King Emmanuel knew what he was doing when he wrote it the way he wrote it. I'm pretty sure he knew that at some point he would transition from his flesh same way. You know, because I asked, when the Constitution was written, was it written with the understanding or the agreement that King Emmanuel would never transition from flesh? Is that why it was written this way, to say that the president would be choosing the parliament members and all of these things? And, you know, I don't really know that I got a real clear answer to that still, but that's the only way I could really understand why Dada would write it, to say that the president is going to be him forever, is that the parliament now would replace what he used to do. Now the parliament is that, and that 33rd member, King Emmanuel, is in all of us. And that is the spirit of truth and right in all flesh of all people, you know? And I'm just talking still, this is up for reasoning, for us to get clear on this, because I don't know that any one of us has the right answer, but we're all just sharing and bouncing ideas off of each other so we could come to a right, you know? Yeah, so I'll leave it there. Empress Leanne had her hand raised, but I would love to hear from ones and ones what you all think about this whole president situation, because I feel like it's paramount when it comes to the Constitution and government for the Congress. If we don't agree on that, everything else we do after that is just going to be adding mix up to mix up, you know? But Empress Leanne, unmute yourself, Empress, and speak, please.
Yes, my Lord. Give thanks again, Majesty, for the moments of reasoning, my Lord. Lord, you see, in Bogo Shanti, you don't ever stop learning. This is my opinion, right? You don't ever stop learning. And it's enough things along the way he doesn't understand. When you hear it, like he doesn't understand it, you know, like the brethren was saying earlier on, dealing with things rationally is a reality, which I do agree with, you understand? And it have a lot of things that I myself experience that somehow when I add it, I ain't getting the answer now. But you say, you know, the inner vibes and the you know, the inspiration within the goddess within, you know, I just give it time. Because just so high, eh? We can't get over him, and it's so low. We can't get undone so wide. We can't get, you know, we can't get around in this thing. You understand? So you see things that I don't understand, that this is my personal thing. I just give it some time. If I have to pray about it, and sometimes when Jah reveal it, he reveal it so simple, eh? I just smile, you understand? But you see what I say? I stand on it continuously. What I see and what I come and what I learn. But things have to be dealt with rationally. But give things time. It's when you give things time and people deal with things the way it really supposed to. I just works to do and you go down that part, you just see what that part. But you need to go down that moral part. Give thanks, my Lord and Empress.
Yes, Empress.
Yeah, man. Love that statement.
What's that, priest?
Yes, I love that statement, but I just want to interject one little thing before someone else get the freedom. You see, when you're setting up a parliament, a committee, there are also procedures to that we are not going into the intricacies to see how that role of the president can be fulfilled without a singular figurehead. Because if you have a committee, you must have a chairperson for that committee. Usually that chairperson is the one that is chosen because of their character, you know, their principle way, their standard of living. See, now within a committee like ours, it would not be a position for life. It would be just for a duration. It would be a rotating chair seat, where a chairman serves for a period of time, and his tenure is up, his time is up, and he moves on, and another chairperson takes over for that his duration. See, now while the chairperson is in seat, he has that last vote, that last say. He becomes that figurehead then that we say we don't want in that sense. But it is not that kind of permanent, it's not that individual seat of presidency like what is being proposed here. Because, you know, like we said, the father saw the vision. He knew exactly what he was doing when he set up his constitution. No wording there was left to chance, because even though it is man and man, is I and I who construct it, you have to read it to the father. And the father tells you what correction he wants done to it. and he tells you if it says exactly what he wants it to say. So that constitution says what the Father wants it to say. President for life was eliminating that one single figurehead because it causes in-house fighting. That is just how that thing goes, that fight for power. It's something in people. And we're there, when you remove that, you eliminate that problem. Now, the responsibility falls on the committee and the parliament to find that brotherhood. Although there are 14 or whatever number it is, 32, 33, they must now find a way to function as one unit. It is also a test of each of those parliamentarians and committee members' character, because they have to find that godliness in themselves now, to put aside all egos and all self-interests for the betterment of the Father's work, for the betterment of the Congress, for the betterment of the people and the nation, because that is what the Congress is there to do, to represent the people's interests. We are a government within a government. So we have to really start to think on that level and discuss parliamentarian procedures on that level, because we are going to be sitting with structured government heads defending our right and the right of what our Father has always defended. So we have to know how we're going to do that. There has to be a way, a methodology, a method in which we do it. And if that method didn't exist before, it is an I and I. We have that power and the blessing of our Father to create what is necessary for the time in which we live. God within we talk about. If God lives within us, why are we afraid to do what is necessary? From we're doing it from a right place, from we're doing it from the place of love, justice, equality. What are we afraid to do that is needed to enhance our nation, our people, our cause, our right of return, our repatriation move, our spreading of the true salvation that Christ lived and gave his life for all? What is stopping us but ourselves, my family? Yeah, give thanks.
Yes, give thanks, my Lord. Next hand raised is Brother Prophet Joseph, and then Empress Leanne will be next. Prophet Joseph, you can unmute yourself, my Lord.
Blessed Lord, my Lord. And
Yes,
Empress,
Honorable.
I had a question, my Lord, because I was well, on the reasoning. Let's see, I see there is a need of a clearance, because when I look for the term president for life, now I see we understand it as well as I and I really understand it, which is King Emmanuel is the president of this Congress, because he founded and he is the Black Christ. He founded the Congress and he's the Black Christ. He's our president, he's our leader. But President for Life, I find it is also a title that is what I find here is that is a title that's assumed by or granted to some president to extend their tenure up until their death. Now, this brings me also like the question of why himself, King Emmanuel, would leave instructions of what the president has to do or what the president doesn't have to do, what he has to do within the foundation, within the constitution, when it is himself for life. Now he also left instruction to what the president need to do. And yeah, I was like wondering about that, my Lord, because I see it is also interpreted in that way, that it is a title that extends up until the president's transition, this term, president for life. So he is the only president for life for the Congress because he would be the only one worthy to carry on his title up until his transition. But does that perhaps mean that there is a need of a chairman, as the Honorable Priest was saying, and we have been reasoning for a person to fulfill some duties that are just to the president to fulfill?
Finish.
My lord, yes.
Honorable. Give thanks, my Lord. You know, that's a good point. That term, president for life. Thank you for bringing that to our consciousness. You know, I won't answer it. I'll just allow for I and I to reason about it. I have my thoughts, but just due to the order, call on the next person with the hand raised. Empress Leanne, unmute please and reason. And then Empress Lily May is next.
Yes, my Lord and Empress, give thanks again, you know. I'm talking a little plenty today, you know, Majesties, because the public interest me, you know.
Yes, sir.
Then praise God, you know, and what my Lord was saying earlier, I think his name is Jawanza, Honorable Jawanza, Jawanza or something, so I don't know the name, and Brother Joseph, understanding, praise God, you know, because if you have 33 and the next one is needed to fulfill the government for certain works to go through, especially if you're facing other governments, you know, to try to get things done, in posting reality, and as my Lord says, rational. So it had one time I sit down personally and meditate this thing, you know, and I say, you know, it will really make sense for somebody to represent, you know. And it will be good, you know, as my Lord was saying, and if we could come together, if we really come together in love and morality and respect for each other and for the real purpose of the Congress, we will be able to select someone who we find is, you know, if it's the Parliament, select someone that represents, that, you know, carry that integrity and that worthiness to represent for the moment, you know, so certain works could be go through. And you know, if it's next 10 years, it rotate again. So, you know, it wouldn't look away still, you know, understanding, praise God, man, you know, but still with the foundation taught that, you know, the founder, the Congress, they still, you know, but understanding, praise God, my Lord and Empress, and we really had to find a way to deal with it in reality, you know, so I support that point, my Lord, you know, it's not what we do, it's how we do it, and God in all I and I. My Lord and Empress.
Yes,
Give thanks, man.
Give thanks, beloved. Honorable Empress Lily May, the eye is next. You can unmute yourself, please, and reason.
Bless the love one and all. Give thanks, Brother Joseph, for bringing up that point about the chairman. I would like to ask Dougie if he remember when we had a chairman and if he could have made the duties of a chairman. Is there anything about a chairman in the Constitution? Priest Prophet Daniel?
Is there any duties that's for the chairman alone?
Yeah, or is he mentioned? Is that office mentioned in the Constitution?
No, there is no chairman mentioned in the Constitution.
But Priest Dougie can remember, or Sister Miriam can remember, Priest Edley gone, that we did have a chairman at one time.
Okay.
Priest Dougie, remember?
Yes, Empress. Yes, Mama Lily. I do remember that. That's why I have that understanding. Yeah, that's why I have that understanding, because the chairman, he doesn't replace the father. He functions as a main arm of the father. It would be somebody like Priest Brownie, Priest Jackai, some person that has earned that position through time and experience, along with liberty. See, those are the ones that I saw given that role during our time back in the day. Now, it is a reality that a committee, if we are going to use the word that was used in the document, a committee functions a certain way. There is a protocol to how a committee functions, and you must have a chairperson to chair a committee. And if a committee is going to be the ruling body of the Congress, nationally or internationally, that chairperson would be the voice, the last voice of the committee. He would have the last vote, that tiebreaker that would give the majority. That means what is his opinion on the topic. And when the time comes to vote, he would vote according to his opinion. And that would be the tiebreaker. Then we would go with that majority. You know, it's a simple process. We just need to be educated on it and understand that it's a simple process, you know. And we just need to just try, like the Empress said, your work to do. It's not hard, it's not rocket science. It's respect. What we need is respect for one another. Seeing? And a person that is going to represent the Congress has to be able to reason clearly, disseminate the information that the Congress wants disseminated to the world clearly, like how Dada would find his way of reasoning with his parables and just the way that Dada represented what he stood for. It was so profound that no entity that heard him, whether they liked it or not, could just, you know, shrug him aside. His words were so profound. So we need ones that are going to represent the Congress to have that standard of speech, of inspiration, of divine spirit. We're talking about our Congress now, you know, brethren and sisters. See, the Ethiopia Africa Black International Congress that was led by a man of principle, a man of the highest standard of morality. That is why he could be declared president for life. What he's declaring is that nothing less than my standard. That is really what he's declaring, you know. Nothing less than my standard can fulfill this office. So if we find a one amongst ourselves of that standard, that is the one that should sit as the chairperson or whatever name I would like to give to that person. Seen as that voice for the collective, because that person becomes the voice for the collective, not for himself. It's not a self-aggrandizing process. It's about now you become a servant because you now become the voice of the people of the Congress. That is what that role is. We are mixed, you know, we can never replace Dada Aya. We cannot be Dada. Dada set the standard. It's the highest standard. What we all must do is aspire to be like the man in his ways, in his principle, and to fulfill the work that the man left us to do. So the best amongst us, we should want to always field our best team because that gives us the chance of success every time. So it's the best amongst us who are the best in their livity, in their principle, in how they represent the Congress, that should sit in any seat of power. There's no power struggle here. There is no controversy over presidency and this and that. We are making this a controversy. We need to just sit down, see who are the capable and willing 14 man, 33 people, have them seated, invite those who we see are, you know, fit that criteria. Those who are willing to come. If the others don't want to come, then you fill the seat with others who are worthy. Simple process. And you start setting your agendas and your programs, your projects that the Congress need to embark on to fulfill the mission. Done. Give thanks.
My Lord, I'm gonna call on you, Brother Prophet Joseph, in just one moment, but I want to get a clearance before we move past what he just said. Now, all right, when you say we choose these people, you mean the entire EABIC choose these 33 people?
There are those that are coming in that wouldn't know what to choose. So we have to be realistic. Okay. You know what is the problem here? You know what is the main problem here with all these discussions? The brethren who have walked with the Father, who have had the experiences, won't come forward and freely contribute to the dialogue. It needs the man them who know to step forward, because it's not I and I alone was there.
Yeah.
Empress Lily and Mama Maisie, I and I Priestly, we were all there, but there are much more of I and I that were there that are on that parliament and part of that committee. Those ones need to be a part of the discussion. Whatever it is that is keeping us divided, we have to find a way to put it aside and establish some forum, if not this forum, a forum where all of the ones who have walked with the man, who are still willing to do the man's bidding, come forward and tell their truth. So we can put it all on the table and work from there, because each man has his truth that he will come and tell what he learned, his role, how he saw his role, the role that the father gave him, all of that. That is what is lacking in this dialogue. It's one and two people who are consistent in the reasoning. And then sometimes it come like we are some know-it-all. We need others to come and give the other pieces of the puzzle to the listening audience and the listening bridging, the listening congregation, so they can have a clear understanding.
Yes, my Lord. I agree. And I try to invite as many elders and as many of your peers as possible. I don't know all of them or even most, but it's universal. All are welcome for sure, whether they like me or don't like me, or whether I like them, don't like them. It's not about me, and it's not about any personal discrepancies. It's really just about reasoning, sharing information so that ones and ones who don't know can know, Yes, my Lord. So anyway, continuing, Prophet Joseph, you can unmute yourself, my Lord, and speak.
Give thanks, my Lord. And I give thanks for the clearance about the president for life term, my Lord, because yes, it is really, and I see it same way, like it is not an election thing, but it is a selection thing, same way, election no, selection no. So it is to follow, the Father calls us all to follow his principles, same way. But the ones that know that it is their role and that their standard of living is worthy to fulfill that office, it is for the man to come forward. If it is 14 man, 32, 33 man, if they can fulfill the office, it is really what we are looking for us to have a set a structure to really represent ourselves to the heads of government. Because when we come to the heads of government, we must show this organization that we have a parliament, that we have a committee, that we have a man that can represent all I and I as a people by fulfilling that standard. So it is really for King Emmanuel to rise again in I and I in the heart of all of us, so we can really come to a consensus. It is for us to, as the Honorable Priest was saying, to dialogue and to really be in one unity, because it is not about who bears such title or such thing, because it is for all of us to feel in unity and feel represented by the governing body of the Congress. So yes, give thanks for the clearance, my Lord and Empress.
Worthy. Glorify my Lord. Empress Leanne, you want to unmute yourself, Empress, and speak?
Yes, Honorable, give thanks, my Lord. I just want to say, my Lord, that I enjoy this reason and I appreciate it, Give thanks for the clearance from the priest, Yes, as I said earlier, sometimes things that I don't fully understand, time just bring it up now. And I get another fulfillment today, So give thanks, priest, for the clearance, and I fully agree, with how it should go, It's just respect, respect for each and every one, and we all coming with our different parts to fulfill the puzzle, and we will get through, man. Give thanks for the reasoning, my Lord and Empress. It's one of the best reasoning I have concerning President talk, my Lord. It makes perfect sense. Give thanks, my Lord, for God and Goddess in flesh.
Yes, sir.
Cha, Rasta.
Rastafari.
Rastafari.
Give thanks, Empress. Honorable Prophet Jasik, my Lord, you can unmute yourself and speak.
Bless the love, my Lord, and Prince and Princess.
Yes.
Give thanks to the movement, Rastafari. Well, from earlier on here, the committee parliament was run from the foundation. So, the man them now who will be getting selected now to run the committee parliament. The man going to fly into the foundation, doing how the time is with the vaccine, all these things now. That's a question I wanted to ask still, my Lord, you know? My Lord.
My Lord, is like the Empress say, you know, is wisdom, you know, for guide I and I, you know, we have to use common sense in our, you know, reality. And another thing we have to bear in mind, the Constitution of the Congress is not just written to govern one branch of the Congress, you know. The Congress is now a global Congress, you know. And his dada, King Emmanuel, endorsed that expansion, you know. The Trinidad camp is a legal camp before the father transition. So was St. Croix, so was Bahamas, so was Miami. So there has to be a constitution that governs all entity. That constitution is for every branch of the Congress. And when you're talking about the foundation, when you're at a branch, you are on the foundation, you know. You may not be in the selected headquarters. But when you are on the legitimate camp in Trinidad, you're on the foundation. When you are in Africa, in Ghana, at Tafo, if Tafo was running the way it should be running, you would be considered on the foundation. It is just like, oh, those countries have embassies around the world, and wherever a country's embassy is, it is considered their land space. That means if you have an Ethiopian embassy in Washington, on the property of the Ethiopian embassy, you're considered in Ethiopia. The laws that govern Ethiopia govern that. So no matter where you are on a legitimate branch, at a legitimate branch, you're on the foundation, and the Constitution governs all those branches. So this reasoning, again, I love it. It has to expand, because sometimes we are looking at the micro and not looking at the macro. See, we are focusing on Bubble Hill as the ultimate space, wherein I also, no one told me this, I heard the father say this, that Ghana, where he's setting up his camp, was going to be his African headquarters. So, you know, we are this is what you call semantics, you know. We are looking at things from a competitive and critical eye, and not from a constructive and realistic point of view. What we need as leadership is the best among us. That's simple. No matter who was seated when, it has been near 30 years since the parliament and the committee been functional. So what we are doing now, or attempting to do, is to revive and revise both the Constitution and the parliament and committee. So what we need to be doing is looking among us for the capable ones, and, you know, soliciting volunteers who we see capable to come and give their talent to the office. You know, the kind of back in the day debate that this thing can lead off to. We don't want to take the route there. No production, no, none of that. They're not going forward. It's time now the Congress step to where it's supposed to be. And I want to just leave the item with this one statement here. I was among other races out there at an event, and I heard one of the speakers, talking about the EABIC. And their take on it is that the EABIC has always been a leader, a trendsetter, a standard within the representation of Rastafari and repatriation. So I'm saying all this to say, we have already set the standard. What we need to do right now is to continue on. And this can only happen through I and I finding back that first love. Whatever brought you to this, that first love that inspired you to this strat, we could find it forward and put aside the bitterness and the disappointments and the, whatever it is. We cannot change the past. We can deal with the present and we can set a better future. Yeah, give thanks, family.
Yes, my Lord. Glorify. And yeah, I mean, due to the time, we will have to start sealing up, and we're open for any closing remarks. If anyone has any, not last words, but, words that they would like to say before we end the program, then I'll open the floor up. We'll do it with order, respect for each other, respect for ourselves. But, the time is now. If you have something that you want to say before the program seals up, just raise your hand. If you can't raise your hand, just block a short word and let me know that you want to speak, and we'll call everyone in order. My Lord and Empress. Honorable Empress Lily is the first one to raise her hand. Go through, Empress.
Bless the love of my Lord and Empress and each and every one. I just give thanks and glorify. That's all I have to say. Just give thanks and glorify. Blessing.
Glorify. All right.
Give thanks, my Lord, for this wonderful reasoning. They say the only place of reasoning is when the black man and the black woman are greeting one another. Thanks, my Lord. I just wanted to answer something that you asked us. And I feel, we all have our opinion and a right to voice, The Black Christ knew exactly what he was doing. Because as I took a little observation of the Constitution just right now, it is structured. There are parts that go into the objectives, right? And there's parts where we go into the dismembership and the membership as well. And when I take time to observe it clear, the father has gone through all the transitions of the Constitution himself, where he had to dismember and he had to member. He had to be the trustee to all the seats, meaning that the people who were ordained to sit in the parliament, he took the time, because they had the skill that he anointed, or he is the one who anoints. He had the time to really have the clearance. Hence, he said he's president for life, because as our good elder, right, Chris Duggan said, he's done it, my Lord. He's done things and set it to a standard, and that standard, it sticks. There's no other Bobo that I know. When we start to reason about the Black Christ, that at one point you have to go to the Bible. At one point you have to go to the Black Scriptures. At one point you have to go to the selected scriptures. So in essence, my Lord, our Father Moses, he's a life giver. He knew exactly what he was doing, my Lord. I give thanks, my Lord, for the jewels that we are receiving from this. Holy Emmanuel, Selassie, Jah.
Ras.
Right. Thanks, my Lord, for your words. Give thanks for your contribution to the program, same way. Honorable Priest Jermaine, my Lord, you can unmute yourself.
My Lord, blessed love, my Lord, Empress, and all little ones even listening same way. I myself have been listening for quite some time. I man does do that more than I speak. I listen a lot, you know what I mean, more than I talk. So I've been here listening for quite some time, and I would love to say that the program today was very informative and constructive. And let us, continue the works and put the words into action that we speak today, you know what I mean, and him fulfill the Lord's demand. Because as we know, the man said, not one of his words shall fruitlessly fall. So we know, so well, everything in timing will be fulfilled. So we give thanks, you know what I mean, that I here trying and making it happen. So give thanks once more for the information and the constructive input from each one. Blessed love, my Lord. Honor it.
Blessed love, my Lord. Give thanks for the eye presence, my Lord. Give thanks for your contribution, same way. And moving forward, Honorable Prophet Joseph, my Lord.
Bless the Lord, my Lord and Empress. Yes, my Lord and Empress, give thanks again, man, my Lord and Empress. It is been a very hopeful meditation, my Lord. I give thanks for the Constitution, my Lord, because really it is a thing that it is a call for unity. When I see the Constitution, I see it is just a thing we must just unite and be obedient, because it is very important that there is a parliament, that there is a committee, and that there is many offices, my Lord, to really lift up Black people. We need to look forward, my Lord, to fulfill this Constitution, to help the poor and needy, as it is said in the Constitution, to organize our wealth, our economies toward the uplifting of Black people, and to achieve freedom, redemption, and international repatriation, my Lord and Empress. It is a beautiful Constitution, my Lord, and I give thanks that even from different parts of the world we can sit together and talk, because it is just a thing of unity, my Lord. When we are really united and we are all together, we can fulfill this Constitution and we can uplift ourselves and uplift our nation. Marcos I. Selassie.
Rastafari.
Rastafari.
We'll give thanks, Prophet Joseph, my Lord. And next to call on Empress Leanne. Empress, you can unmute yourself.
Yes, my Lord and Empress. I hope this is my closing remark, because I can't stop talking. I give thanks for the reasoning I gave. I just want to share it once and once. I appreciate this reasoning today, Yes, I feel the Spirit of the Lord move through, in flesh, in I and I. Selassie.
Rastafari.
The works to God along with the words now, and we will be okay, man. We'll be well and fine. In Rastafari. Blessed love, my Lord and Empress. Blessed.
And Ras Daniel and listeners, I give thanks. I feel the love, the balance. I love to hear the empresses interacting on the same level as the priests, because the empresses' role are vital to change happening. It has always been within the African family that the empresses are the champion of change. And when we say change, usually positive change, because the empress is thinking on behalf of her father, her brother, her son, her husband. She's thinking on a motherly level. You understand? She's not hampered by inflated ego. So I give thanks to her, the Empresses, being a vital part of this discussion and analyzing the Constitution from a realistic point of view, you know, because power belongs to I and I, the people, you know. That is what the Father came here to do, you know, to rise up his people, you know. He came with a message. He didn't came and point to himself, you know. He came with a message. It's a message that we all need to learn and to implement, to practice in our daily life. And that's why we are part of this Congress, to make ourselves better, see, and to serve the will of our Father, which is to spread his word of salvation to all. And there is no strings attached. There is no power attached. The only thing attached to just salvation is love. See, and I feeling that love, and that is what will heal us, heal the Congress, heal all the infirmities that we have that plague us. Love heals them. So I give thanks, family, for the love. Rastafari.
My Lord, give thanks for the eye contribution the same way, our priests. At this time, being that everyone has had an opportunity to speak, we'll seal up the program. I would ask, you know, if someone could even rise one chorus for us before we allow the priest to say a closing prayer. And we have plenty of students of the music class on this reasoning today, so there shouldn't be no problem getting someone to come forward and sing a chorus for us.
I got one for you, Bobo.
My Lord, go through.
King Pharaoh, where will you run to? For I say all this time, King Pharaoh, where will you run to? For I say all this time, in Pharaoh, where will you run to? But I say all this time, prepare to reach down the judgment. If you're up, but I say all this time, you're up to, but I say all this time, King Pharaoh, where will you run to? But I say all this time, prepare to reach out on the rock.
My Lord.
Holy from Zion, Zion, the Holy One, Zion, Selassie, Jah, Rastafari, power lightning God, Jah Rastafari, in Selassie, Jah Rastafari, God is the better all Lord.
Worthy, my Lord. Give thanks for the one, two, clapping and singing, my Lord. Honorable Priest Dougie, if you could bless us with a prayer, my Lord, and then we'll close.
Yes, my Lord, give thanks. Glory be unto our Father, unto his Son, unto the Holy One of creation. As Jah was in the beginning, is now, and ever shall be, Jah world without end. So we hail our God Selassie, Jehovah God, Jah Rastafari. Great and terrible God, Jah Rastafari is the Almighty God. Jah who sitteth in Zion and reigneth in the hearts of all flesh. O thou most high eternal Father, Jehovah God, Jah Rastafari. Hear us and bless us, O Lord. Keep us and sanctify us all. Cause thy holy face to shine upon us, thy children, that we shall be saved and redeemed. O thou most high God, Jah Rastafari. Bless us with thy love and thy mercy, O Lord. Bring us forward together as one family, one father's children, one mother's children. Through thy blessing and through thy love, we ask this in thy name. Holy Emmanuel, Selassie.
Rastafari.
Keep all thy children.
Give thanks, my Lord and Empress. Give thanks to all who were present, all who contributed. Give thanks to all those watching on YouTube for your attention. Yeah, this is another edition of the Universal Study Group. And this is the African Liberation Network. I am the host, Honorable Prophet Daniel. And give thanks again, my Lord and Empress. Until next time, Jah be with I and I, bless I and I, keep I and I, until we can meet at Nigga's feet. Holy Emmanuel I, Selassie I, Jah. All strength and powers in the 6 days of labor, my Lord and Empress. Blessed.